What is going on, Crisis Actors? It is episode 1056 of Pop Culture Crisis. My name is Brett. I am here with my guest co-host for the day, talking about ravioli, of all things. Introduce yourself, please.
Hi, everybody. It's Olivia. I was talking to somebody in the Discord who mentioned something about ravioli. I've now gone down a rabbit hole, and you would think beef ravioli wouldn't have milk in it. But alas, they also put ricotta cheese in it. So if I can find a ricotta cheese, like, knockoff, I guess, not really cheese, you know?
Like a
non-dairy.
like a
Sorry, I couldn't
dairy-free
think of
one?
like a dairy-free one. But then I'd have to make it, and it's just going to be like annoying to have to make it. And so, yeah, that's what we're doing. I'm seeing if I can find any that they sell right now. Any dairy-free raviolis. Ravioli, give me the formula. Okay, but I am seeing if I can find that. But I do have exciting news for all of you following along in the saga of my collection of stamps. I received some yesterday.
Oh, yes, I forgot about
So
this.
we talked about this last week, and as we were talking about the new stamps coming out and all of that, I thought I should see what they have, okay? It's called Free Will and a little bit too much extra, I don't say too much extra money, but just a will to spend like $20. I now have the Founding Fathers sheet of stamps, and if you don't think this is super based, you don't love your country. I'm not going to use them. They're just going to be for my collection. But they've got all the Founding Fathers on here. They've got some people I haven't even heard of. So these are actually all stamps.
Wait,
but
who haven't you heard of on there? So maybe somebody in the chat can enlighten us.
Well, this guy was apparently... He was an Oneida leader called Good Peter who supported American forces and worked for his people's future. And I'm not even going to try to say his name.
Okay.
It's like corn planter. He was a Seneca war chief and peace negotiator between native relations. So like they've got minorities, they got the whole thing, right? This is but they have George Washington, and that's all that matters to me.
I see a chat from Mergler who says, "Why is Harriet Tubman though?"
She's not on there. That is Elizabeth Freeman.
I did laugh though, because I did see in response to the Odyssey casting backlash, somebody made like an AI thumbnail of Sydney Sweeney as Harriet Tubman.
Alexander Hamilton is on here. James Madison, Paul Revere, Thomas Paine, Thomas Jefferson, John Jay, Patrick Henry. I mean, there's a lot of people on here. So here you guys go again. One more look for all of you that don't care. And that is what we got now. So that was my exciting show and tell today, you guys.
Excellent.
Actually, I have one more show and tell today before we get into the nitty gritty.
We do?
The clip of the day.
Oh,
I don't have a bow. I have a hair clip today.
Hair clip of the day. Well,
today we've got the butter clip.
It seems like it would make more sense for you to wear the bows because you make the bows.
Yes, but in lieu of it being almost 100 degrees and needing my hair back, there's no good way to put a bow with this kind of hair back. So you guys get to look at my collection of claw clips.
There you go.
So the butter claw clip today.
Everybody, please hit the like button on this episode if you're going to hang out with us today, and subscribe to the channel if you are new here and you have not subscribed here yet already on YouTube and on Rumble. I was just over looking at our Rumble page, which I upload all of the segments and everything to both YouTube and Rumble, but I neglect sometimes the Rumble page, and we've seen some great growth over there. So if you are watching over on Rumble, thank you guys so much. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you guys so much. Or if you are listening to this on an audio platform later, also, thank you guys as well so much. We would not be here without your guys' support, so thank you guys so much for that. What are we going to get into today as I try to not cough? We are going to talk more about Hayden Panettiere. More stories are coming out related to her upcoming book, This Is Me, which I believe either comes out today or the 21st. I'm not exactly sure which one it is, but it's coming out in the next couple of days, if not today specifically. And there's more stories about degenerates in Hollywood doing degenerate stuff. I don't think that that's anything new, but it ties into a little bit to do with her history with substance abuse, which I think kind of It doesn't lay all of it at the feet of Hollywood because we make our own decisions and we have to be responsible for our own actions. But certainly, the situations we find ourselves in oftentimes inform the decisions we make. So, the things that happen in Hollywood oftentimes drive a lot of kids to bad choices. So we'll get into a little bit of that. We're also going to talk about Selena Gomez, Benny Blanco, and Mr. Feeney from Boy Meets World. If you're wondering what the hell all of those things have in common, the thing they have in common is my idea that we should all know a hell of a lot less about each other. Mainly because Hollywood has an obsession with talking about their sex lives. It's one of the things that you see the most common on shows like Call Her Daddy is like women go on that show. Women that are famous, that have famous boyfriends or ex-boyfriends or famous ex-husbands, and they just air out all the dirty laundry. And I believe that we would all be better off if we did not know just that much about each other. At the very least, can we draw the line at that stuff? So we'll get into it. Also, we're going to talk about the Pizza Hut revival because it is a big thing in the news, especially on right-wing Twitter, where they've turned Pizza Hut and Blockbuster into these weird cultural touchstones that really are indicative of their desire to return to a world that is simply never going to come back. At least that's my opinion on it. Not that the pizza thing is a bad thing, but we got that. We got a bunch of other stuff. If you're ready to go, Olivia, we can go. Are you ready?
Born ready.
Born ready.
I'm going to start saying that every day. Born ready.
Born ready?
Born
All right,
ready.
let's go for it then. Let's talk a little bit more about Hayden Panettiere. We got into it a little bit last week. We talked about the many traumas of Hayden Panettiere in her long career in Hollywood. She's obviously been acting since she was very young, and we got into the various stories about the things that have happened to her throughout her career. One of the things that we got into was the story about her being on a yacht at the age of 18 when a friend, is how they describe them, a friend brought her into a room and tried to set her on a bed with a naked famous director, and she found her way out of that room, and it was all written in the book. No names were given, as usually happens with these things because they don't want to get sued. But now we are finding out that there's another story very similar to this in a way that kind of highlights, in my opinion, the degeneracy of the average Hollywood actor. But not just that, at least in my opinion, not just that, it also kind of highlights the way in which the average Hollywood celebrity takes a revisionist look at their own degenerate years, which of course is the way it goes when you write your own autobiography. You get to decide how everything is framed. She said it was about a well-respected Oscar-winning actor who exposed himself at a party at the age of 19. Well, she was there. I'll put this up on screen here. This is from People magazine. Hayden Panettiere claims a famous Oscar-winning actor once exposed himself to her at a party when she was 19 years old. In her memoir, out now, it is, by the way, This Is Me, and it comes out today. The Nashville actress, age 36, recalls attending a party at a private apartment with a friend when she said a well-respected and Oscar-winning actor and director exposed himself to her while she was preparing to leave. Panettiere, let me make sure that everything's good there. Yeah, we're good. Panettiere wrote that after spending time making small talk with a group of men at the gathering, she began feeling increasingly uncomfortable and decided it was time to go. According to the memoir, one man, who she did not name, approached her as she was putting on her coat and pointed to what he claimed was gum stuck to his pants. That's a line I've never heard before. I looked it down and recoiled, she wrote. This well-respected, award-winning actor's testicles were hanging out his unzipped fly. Though the actress said at the moment that she did not feel that it physically harmed her, that the incident did not physically harm her, the interaction left her rattled and confused. The gum in the pants, however, was a head scratcher, she writes. It hadn't hurt me, and I was sure it was a drunken joke, but I'd never seen a grown man do something like that. I was shocked. I guess the first thing I thought was, like, after the boat incident the year before, how does any of this shock you?
Yeah, look, I'm just really sick of this entire mentality of, like, at the moment I didn't think anything was wrong. But years later, it's Me Too culture, right? It's basically like the idea of Me Too culture of something not being weird or predatory or sexual until years later when you reflect back on it. You would know in that moment that's weird and disturbing and whatever.
Or they didn't think it was weird and disturbing. That's
right, and
the
they're
other
retroactively
option
saying, I thought it was super weird, and they probably didn't.
Yeah.
I don't know. I get very upset with this. And I know we're going to talk a bit more about this in a second with another article, but the lack of accountability on people's part for, like, you went to that party. I'm not saying what happened is okay or not okay. I'm just saying that you were in that environment knowing these people are kind of weird.
Yeah.
And you put yourself there. You were 19. You have the total agency to not do that. So I think with Hayden Panettiere specifically, she's actually getting a lot of leeway from people.
What do you mean by that?
Because they're kind of being like, yeah, she's a victim. Yeah, like, these things happen to her. But no one's talking about the accountability that she should have for herself. The fact that she was in these spaces and doing these things. Now, certain situations I understand maybe weren't the case, but...
Well, the boat one strikes a chord with people because, like, you're stuck and you can't get away.
Right,
like,
that I understand.
And it felt like she was tricked into it by being brought into the room by a friend.
That one is
that same
valid.
friend was here at this party, so
Sounds
seems
like
the worst friend ever.
Yeah, and she kept that friend after the boat incident, which she even said in the moment she knew was messed up. The boat situation is messed up. I'm not going to say that one's not, really bad, but decisions made after that and moving forward as we talk about more that's come out in her book, I'm not buying that she's this, like, victim who just couldn't get away from bad things happening. I'm not buying it.
Do you think it's more that when you're 19, you act out and you're immature and you maybe you like gross humor and these things don't shock you? You go to parties when you're 19, 20, 21 years old and people do stuff that's lewd or gross and everybody laughs about it, but then you look back on it later and you think, oh, maybe that was really inappropriate. But it's one thing to say that was inappropriate. It's another thing to put it into a book, which is why, and I see people in the chat mentioning why aren't any names given. If it's a well-respected Oscar-winning actor and director, the point is well-respected Oscar-winning actors have lawyers that cost a lot of money, and then you end up either getting a cease and desist letter, it has to be pulled from the book, or it could have been an editor's note from the publisher, like, if you don't name names, you better have proof to back it up because otherwise we could get sued, maybe?
Maybe. I've never understood, like, people are like, oh, cease and desist, oh this, oh that. If it's true, if it's verifiably true, there will be no lawsuit. There will be nothing. You are putting out accurate information for public consumption. And if there's not some kind of deal where there's, like, a gag order or there is a anti-disclosure agreement, if that doesn't exist, you should be able to just name names. I'm so sick of people saying all these predatory behaviors going on in Hollywood, all these people are crazy predators, and they won't name a name because they're, quote, too powerful. Someone's going to have to eventually do it.
Katie in the chat says, so then say nothing. Well, then you can't sell any books if you say nothing.
Right. So the idea is this is a huge virtue signal to say, bad things happen to me, I'm a victim, but I'm not going to tell you who did these bad things to me because why would I do that? You do that because you want to protect people.
Comatose in the chat says, clearly Olivia doesn't want to save the cheerleader, which by happenstance also means that she does not want to save the world. We should watch the first season of Heroes.
I haven't seen it.
I think you would, as somebody who's not a superhero fan, there's enough interpersonal, like, drama, but interpersonal storylines and that I think you would actually really, really like. At the very least, the first season of Heroes.
Well, my biggest issue with this, and this is something I've said quite a bit, I do not like when people will have something bad happen to them and then play the victim for as long as they can drag that out to get sympathy points from people. It's very annoying and it's very tired at this point. So all of us have had, everyone listening, us here, we've all had bad things happen in our lives, some worse than others, I'm sure. We didn't take that mentality and say, oh, I'm a victim. Oh, I'm a victim. Oh, this horrible thing happened. I'm such a victim. No, we took it, and I assume most people take it, and maybe they fall down a little bit, but at the end of the day, you get back on your feet and you do what you can because the world moves on and you have to move on from things.
To be fair, the way she frames it here in the story is interesting. She says she chose not to tell her friend about the encounter at the time because she believed, quote unquote, the moment had passed, and assumed that some older men just had grown up with no manners. So she actually, to your point, Katie, in the chat, she seems to think of it as a nothing burger as well, but still it was important enough to write and put in the book, which makes you wonder what the purpose of sharing the story is at all.
Again, it's sympathy points.
And then there's more to it also, and the reason I connect it back is all of these stories you know, whether you want to believe them, whether you want to believe that they actually affected her or not, they add up to the fact that kids who get into acting oftentimes end up a bit of a mess. This was how her Nashville character's addiction was like looking in a funhouse mirror. She relates her character in Nashville's own substance abuse problems to the way that they would mirror her own substance abuse problems. And it shines a light on her team, meaning like I'm guessing like her publicist, her manager, all of these people, and what they had done to her. She said that when she was a teen, she said that when she was a teenager, Penetier's team gave her quote unquote happy pills and amphetamine, she believes. She doesn't know. So she was just given pills, not knowing what they were, before interviews and red carpets so that she could focus, reflecting on her addiction and recovery in This Is Me.
How old
Panettiere
was she?
writes, 16 years old.
Okay.
She writes the habit would forever change her world. At 16, they were the gateway drug that ushered me towards pharmaceuticals and the downfall of addiction. In the throes of postpartum depression after having her daughter, Kaya, Panettiere writes that she became addicted to alcohol and Klonopin, a central nervous system depressant. At one point, a doctor told her she'd be dead within 5 years if she didn't stop drinking. She didn't have close friends on the set of Nashville, and no one brought up her addiction, which she says contributed to an enabling environment. Instead, Nashville writers mirrored her character's season 4 story arc after her own real life. Juliette Barnes had postpartum depression and alcohol and pill problem and a divorce on the horizon. She was erratic, an absentee mother, and fought with everyone, including her fans. Every time I read the day's script, it was like I was looking into a funhouse mirror, seeing a distorted reflection of myself. I can't tell you how lost that made me feel. That does speak to the complex nature of what they do as actors in a lot of ways. Like, given the fact that I have spoken before on this channel about my own substance abuse problems, there are times where a story that you read might actually ring pretty close to home. But I have the choice of just like not doing it. Like, if I don't want to cover something, same thing with not watching a movie if I feel like it hits too close to home, though that doesn't really ever happen to me. Outside of Requiem for a Dream, I won't watch Requiem for a Dream. But the point is that it kind of reflected her life back to her, and the idea that her own team was giving her drugs that she didn't know when she was a teenager is pretty crazy.
It's crazy. It's messed up. But at 16, I know she's probably too scared to say no. I'm not going to sit here and totally like crap all over her, you know, what she's saying. But how was no one else involved in that? Did her mom sign off on it? Is that what she's saying?
Remember, her mom was the momager.
Yes, but does her mom know that they are doing
Probably
this?
Not.
Okay,
or she does and doesn't care.
Okay, so let's say she doesn't, then you tell your mom. You tell your mom they are trying to give me drugs, right? That I don't know what they are, and that is at 16. You should know to say to your mom, they tried to give me these drugs. You're not 10, you're not 12, you are 16 years old, you are 2 years away from adulthood. You should know that. Other than that, it's if her mom knew that, I don't need, that's basically, is it immoral? Yes. But was it illegal? No. If the mom
yes, it is. If she's not prescribed to them and she doesn't know what they are, it's absolutely illegal.
I guess I was thinking like over the counter.
That's actually drugging her.
I was thinking over the counter for some reason. Like Annie, I was like thinking like a normal, like a Benner. I was like, I don't know why, but that was like my brain automatically went to something over the counter.
If they're not prescribed to her, it's absolutely illegal.
If they're not over the counter and they're not prescribed to her.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, you know, there's multiple ifs and like there's not enough information here for me to actually say if it's inherently like it's bad, right? She shouldn't be doing that. That's bad. But I can't sit here and say for sure that she told her mom knew about it, her manager knew about it. Like ultimately that is, if she's 16, the parents need to know about that and be involved. So.
We had a 20 from Brian Bledsoe. He says, no one has won both Best Director and Best Actor or Supporting Actor Oscar. Are we talking about nominated? If so, that's a short list. I don't think that's what that was saying. I think they were saying they won that they won as an actor, but they were also a director. I don't think that was to intimate that they had won in both categories. But I could be wrong about that. But I don't think it was.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Panettiere turned to drinking as she tried to navigate filming Nashville, a rocky relationship with her husband and postpartum depression. She recalls drinking so much wine that the glass almost overflowed and hiding mini bottles of Fireball in her house to grab at any time, including right when she woke up.
Wait,
when she saw...
When was this?
When
How
she
old
was on the
she?
show, she was in her mid-20s at this
Okay.
point. Somebody can double check on that, how old she was when she was, I think she was like 23. I think she said she was in her early 20s. When she sought treatment for the first time between seasons 3 and 4 of Nashville, she was able to get sober, but ended up completely dependent on prescription pills that she was given in rehab. Funny how that works. Panettiere recalls once waking up in the hospital after blacking out in the makeup trailer on Klonopin. It's a rough life.
Yeah, again, we're taking away personal accountability here. She's just complaining into the ether and blaming Hollywood for it. And that's a problem for me.
All right.
Addiction is, sorry, I want to just quickly say addiction is the fault, not the fault. But it is
the
the fault
responsibility of the
person.
person who falls
She's an
into
adult.
the addiction to get through it
and to accept
fix themselves.
drugs that they put you on. She could have said, I mean, I know it was probably hard, but as someone who's been through that process, you know to say no to certain things, and you have to have that willpower and learn that. If you know you have an addictive personality, you know you have substance problems, you don't partake in any of them. That is kind of the blanket. So I don't know where she went to rehab, but
that is very common
but it's
practice.
common. But
That
I'm
is
saying
very
she
common
could have
practice.
said, no, I am turning my life around, is my point. There's no accountability in here.
Well, she
it
does.
sounds like.
Well, I mean, she has since she's sober now, so that's kind of
Right,
the point.
but
Like
she's not taking
just
accountability.
she's just taking you through times in her life. I mean, we're reading excerpts here. We're not reading the
Right,
whole book.
I'm just curious why she's writing about all of this. I guess I'm just confused.
because there's money to be
I'm just
made in
confused,
autobiographies.
I guess.
We have a $20 super chat here from Katie. Thank you so much.
Hi,
Says,
Katie.
I had an ex-boyfriend at the age of 16 who wanted not appropriate things with me, safe and not sometimes. I thank God I had the agency to say no.
Yes.
Safe and not sometimes. Okay.
I think
I
she
read
means
that correctly.
yes, safe and sometimes
Well,
not.
good job saying
Yes.
no. That was the
Good
right
job,
thing to do.
Katie.
Yeah, it's just another notch in the belt of Hollywood, which, as everybody knows, has never been kind to the young actors, and has always led to this type of thing. It's a
But they're not
dangerous
stopping
place.
it. They're not doing anything to
It's a
stop
very.
it.
I mean, when yesterday we talked yesterday on the show about Kate Blanchett moving the goalpost on Me Too. It was no longer about abuse. It was no longer about systemic abuse of power by powerful executives. It ended up becoming about gender parity on
Right.
set, which is fundamentally not what it was supposed to be about.
Right. I just think that if we're going to talk about issues, not just in Hollywood, but the music industry, any of these industries where celebrities are made, there needs to be a real conversation about it, not just an autobiography or a celebrity death that enough people are affected by for them to outcry for 2 months and that's it. There needs to be actual change. Like, it makes me think of Liam Payne dying, and people were outraged for a couple months, and it's all died down since. No laws have really
Same thing
changed.
happened
Nothing changed.
when Matthew.
That's what I'm saying.
Perry
Matthew Perry
died.
Yep. I'm just saying that's
those
exactly,
doctors went to jail.
Yes, they did, which is, I mean, I
And
guess
the ketamine queen.
it was more convoluted with Liam Payne, but it is something that they should be actively, there should be legislation for things with children, I'm saying, because a lot of this stems from childhood trauma. There should be more legislation to protect children, but what do I know?
All right. When I sat up there, I made sure that you didn't see my legs, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes,
If you're
he's wearing
watching on the
shorts.
Rumble stream, when the stream initially started, I think there might have been a shot of my leg, and I know that is
Ooh.
scandalous, ladies and
So
gentlemen, but do
scandalous.
try and contain yourselves.
Yes,
okay.
please.
Continue. Let's talk about Seth Rogan. He doesn't like the Clankers at all. We've got this, and we've got a whole bunch of other stuff with it.
Yeah, Seth Rogen is telling filmmakers that are using AI to write scripts to go do something else. That is the quote, go do something else. Seth Rogen has pushed back on the use of AI in movies, telling writers that are using the technology to use their scripts to go do something. He is behind the projects like The Studio, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem, and he had talked about it during a Cannes interview, of course.
It's always the Cannes interview.
Always the Cannes
Fun thing
interview.
about this, the studio is very highly regarded from people that I trust. Also, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem has the distinction of being one of the few movies that Mary actually liked. So,
For what it's worth.
For what it's worth. Continue.
So here is the quote when he was asked on his thoughts on AI. He said, I don't understand what it's supposed to do. Every time I see a video on Instagram like Hollywood is cooked, what follows is like the most stupid doggest I've ever seen in my life.
Okay, so
So I'm reading his quote directly.
So they need to pick a lane in Hollywood. Either AI creates nothing but dog doo-doo, as he said, and it's not going to risk their jobs, or it's an existential threat to their careers and they need to put legislation in place to prevent it from taking their gerbs.
Yeah.
But they can't have both.
Gerbs. He continues and says, if your instinct is to use AI and not go through that process, you shouldn't be a writer because you're not writing. Go do something else. And then they talk a little bit about his career and different things that he has worked on. Let's see here. He said, saying you don't want to go through that process. I mean, it is a process, right? We've seen that. We know that. We know that writing any kind of movie is definitely a process. It goes to the studio, goes back.
I don't know if he's... One thing that these types of interviews always end up struggling from is that they don't get very granular about what he means. Now, does he mean that you should not be going into Grok and saying, help me write a paragraph about this topic, or help me, like my scene starts like this, where should I go from here? Or is he saying you shouldn't be using AI to ask research questions like how many rounds in the magazine of a Glock 17
writing,
or something like
not
that?
Technicality. So it makes me think that he is talking specifically about the writing. Like, it's one thing to double check, or because you could just Google something, right? That'd be like saying don't use Google. Like, obviously people are going to do that. ChatGPT and all of those have become kind of the next Google, and I think that's kind of the problem here. But Hollywood isn't the only industry that is pushing AI right now. The Barnes & Noble CEO says he has no problem selling AI written books. Quote, we will stock them. His name is James Daunt. Love that name. James Daunt said that the chain may already be selling them. We're just not really conscious of that. So that's insane. Obviously, we can tell, you can tell when something is AI generated by the writing style. We can still kind of see that. The use of dashes a lot. The poor people who use dashes in their normal conversations have gotten totally screwed over with allegations of AI. Yeah. I used to use them, not a lot, not as excessive as AI, but I used to use them. And now I'm like, what do I use for this? So he is defending AI written books. I have a couple questions. I'm guessing the person that makes this AI book, puts the prompts in, is the one who gets paid for this book, right? That's what I would assume. Like an author, it would be, they are not the author technically, but he said as long as they are put out there as AI books, he does not care. I mean, look, if you're a bookstore where you're selling physical books, you should be encouraging human written stories that connect with people. It's just lazy to me. He said we have over 300,000 titles across our stores. Do we think some of that is AI? The chances are some of them are, but we're not conscious of it. And then he said that he doesn't want the books masquerading as human made. I can't believe that has to be like I guess he means man-made, but like human made.
Can't say man-made anymore.
Right.
It's gender exclusive.
Yeah, you have to say Homo sapien human made. So he wants it to be disclosed. I think this opens up a bigger conversation about how AI is affecting not just what we see online, AI videos, AI music, which we will get into in a second. We're seeing it now here in physical media, right? This is kind of the last bastion of physical media. It feels like books.
You mean like libraries, or libraries,
libraries,
bookstores?
books. Yeah, because now there's audiobooks. And now there's like read-along apps where you can have it read the book to you as you're sitting there reading it, which is insane, by the way.
Somebody needs to go and find the most pretentious, like, mom and pop bookstore run by the farthest left person you can, and bring the most AI book in there you can find and try and sell it to them.
Oh gosh, please. So apparently in June of 2025, I didn't know this, but more than 70 authors petitioned the big 5 publishers, which would be Penguin, Random House, HarperCollins, Simon & Schuster, Hachette Book Group, and Macmillan, to never release books that were created by machines, is what they are saying here. Primarily built using copyrighted works by other human creators. They are urging them not to replace their employees with AI tools as well, and solely rely on human narrators for audiobooks. So that's a big thing. YouTube, okay, I'm guilty of listening to this stuff, but they are saying they want people to be able to read it with the right emotional resonance that it's meant to hit. Because
yeah.
they wrote this book, they want it delivered in a way that isn't like delivering a line or whatever it might be.
I listened to this one YouTube channel that's like forgotten tech of the decades or whatever, and it's done by the most fake AI voice ever. And I've actually come to like, if they switched over to a real narrator now, I would hate it.
Yeah, I listened to Snoozestorian, which you guys should totally listen to. It's this like British AI voice that's very not flat. Like there is a little bit he'll emphasize some words, but also I found out that the guy that runs it is like a 26-year-old dude from the Netherlands, and I was like, wow, I would not have expected a 26-year-old dude from the Netherlands to be behind the 2.5-hour Life Behind Women in the Soviet Union video that I listen to when I go to bed. That voice helps me sleep now because I've gotten it in my head. I've trained my brain for that AI voice, because then I can actually watch people making videos and not be like, I'm falling asleep. There was a YouTube channel that would read out Reddit stories, and I started to get tired when I heard his voice because I was so used to it, but I actually like his content and want to hear it, so I had to switch it up a little bit. Point being, when you have an audiobook, for example, you want that emotional connection to the words, because AI will just read it.
That was like, what was it? The book, Annie Jacobson. She's great. I don't know if she's ever been on IRL.
I think so, yes. I believe once or twice.
But she was on, I remember when she was on Rogan. And
yeah, she's great.
Everyone
Operation Paperclip.
Yes, and everyone basically said, I hope she narrates her own books.
Because she's good at
she's
delivering that.
I mean, it's basically, she's like the less weird version of Mary McDonnell from Major Crimes.
Okay,
Sharon.
yeah, Sharon.
She's Sharon from Major Crimes.
I can't stand her voice. Brett won't watch it with me anymore because I can't help but like she has this like sultry
it's
like.
It's not sultry.
It is
it's
sultry.
It's
she goes,
calm.
no, this is what she does. She goes,
it can't be. She's like 60. It can't be sultry.
She goes, yeah, I'll look into that. Like what? Why are you saying it like that?
You don't sound like a police
Hello?
captain. But
no,
okay.
you sound like you're reading 50 Shades of Grey to people.
Captain Raider.
Like tell me right now that's not kind of like inherently like the voice is just icky to me. I can't do it. And she can narrate 50 Shades of Grey for all I care, but it's very annoying. So I think it's very interesting. I know Tim talks a lot about AI and people probably get really tired of it. But when we're talking about AI in the sense of things we're consuming, not just media online, but physical media, there is not much physical media left. And Barnes & Noble is one of those last stores that actually carries books why can't I think of it? Like a big box store, right? That carries all that stuff. And it's like a chain, and it's scary. It's actually kind of terrifying to think that, and also it could really roll into, if I'm going to be propagandized, I want to be propagandized by a person, not a machine, okay? And that's the other thing, is what are they going to be writing? Nonfiction? Fiction? We don't know.
I mean, the people that are complaining about it are going to have to learn to self-publish, because the book companies are going to want to release cheaper, faster, more efficient. So, I mean, that's just the natural extension.
I get it, but at the same time,
of these business models where it's all consolidated. I mean, this technically started decades ago when all of these publishing companies started buying one another and consolidating
and
down
Borders
further
was gone.
and further.
I remember that.
So
I mean,
this was always going to happen.
To me, it's just crazy that so many people seem to complain about how AI is going to take over and AI is going to rule everything and it's going to melt your brain. And then they do things like publish AI books in the same breath. That's my problem. But another thing going on with AI right now is that Spotify is now going to warn listeners to know when AI helped make a song. Very interesting. So in late 2025, a French language song, I'm not even going to try, exploded across streaming platforms. And they didn't realize that the viral song was a remix of a 2013 hit and was created using AI. That is insane. Brett really is into the AI songs.
I love the AI reimaginings of different songs.
So like Kanye West singing Wildest Dreams.
No, that stuff's so old now. Like that, the technology.
I was just
on that
giving
is
an example.
Now there's now it's not tied to an artist mimicking another artist. It's literally just bending.
Oh, it's like
genres.
a cover of
It's just bending genres. So I found one recently that labels these remixes of songs as quote unquote dark country, but what it actually sounds like is if you heard a bunch of songs you'd heard of that were in the top 40 performed by Typo Negative. It's that type of thing, and I do.
It's like a cover of the song in the style of that artist.
Yes,
yeah.
I do enjoy that for the most part, and I don't think, now here's the thing, I disagree with Tim that the music industry is cooked in the same way, which is that I do believe that for the most part a lot of people actually do, like, I can tell like if you listen to enough of it, it all starts to sound the same.
Yeah.
Like, so I've listened to enough of it, and it ain't a whole lot to be able to tell that they're all using the same Suno prompts to make their songs. Mm-hmm. And I think people will get sick of that after a while. I think that there is such a thing as too perfect, and that the song is going to follow a noticeable pattern the way most of them do based on the genre, and people will find their way back to real artists who have real styles, both good and bad. They have flaws, all that stuff. Not to mention, I still think that people will put a premium on wanting to go see artists live. That is true with Phil right now, who's out,
he's
performing.
He is.
I don't think that, music is cooked in the same way.
I don't think live music is, but I do think that streaming songs might be. But I don't know. Again, I find the conversation interesting because so much of what we consume now is AI. And even if you try to put AI warnings on everything, you're not going to catch everything. Yeah. That's what's so scary about it, is the deception. At least when there's propaganda, whether it be in songs, media, print, any of it, you usually, it's written by a person, right? Someone's whipping that up somewhere, actually writing it out, not saying, hey, propaganda is, which most AI won't even do it, but if you say, like, propagandize American people to be pro-war, and it can give you like a movie, like a poster, which as a vendor for events, I didn't grab any examples, but there is an abundance of event coordinators right now that set up different street fairs, vendor events, all of that stuff, making AI posters or AI images instead of going into Canva and making a poster for social media or something that they can put out on socials. They are now making it entirely out of AI, saying, hey, put out, let me think of an example. There is a street fair on Main Street in Cityville from noon to 5 on May 19th, okay? It'll come up with something, and they all look very similar because they're all putting in similar prompts. And as someone who vends, as someone who sells craft items.
Somebody who vends.
I'm a vendor. As a vendor, there we go. As someone who sells items, I didn't know what the word was. I'm functionally not the brightest. Anyway, I will avoid them, because they scream scammy to me. Because back when people were just making them in Canva or doing their own editing, I refuse to, if it's an AI poster, I will not, if it doesn't look like a graphic designer did it or someone went into Canva and used I'm fine with people using like the, what are they called? The formats or whatever from Canva, like a pre-made format or whatever. I'm fine with like that. That makes sense to me. It's visually appealing. I understand that, but you can tell when it's AI. And I'm going to see if I can find, I literally looked up like events in Martinsburg, and it was bad. And I won't apply to them because I think I'm getting scammed. Makes sense. Because that's what they used to do. They used to use scams or scammy posters like that, I guess. If I can find it, oh man, I really wish I could. I'm not seeing anything right now because this computer has a different search engine than mine. The point is I think that the future with AI is a lot less clear as some people are making it out to be. Some people are saying that it's the end of the world. Other people are saying that it's a bubble that's going to burst. I think we'll end up somewhere closer to the middle. Yeah, I mean, you guys would see them and you'd know them if you saw them. They're very much, there was one, I don't want to give away where we live, that's why I'm not finding one of the local ones, but there was one that was so bad that I literally, like, someone real was actually posting it. I saw their whole profile and everything, and I was like, why are you using AI for this? Give someone $5 to make you a poster for this. Yeah. Like, $5, I would go on Fiverr and go on Fiverr someone, or give your kid $5 to put that stuff in and just choose the one you want. And then your kid does it with AI. He just uses better prompts. Yeah, I mean, look, some AI is advanced enough, but it is like, oh, it's so painful to like look at all the posters and all the things they're doing. Yeah, this one, like, Brave doesn't do it the way I need it to, so it's fine. But it's a problem for sure. All right, let's move on. Also, guys, before we move on, if you are not yet, join the Timcast Discord and join the PCC section of the Discord. There is a mailbag there now, and also I posted in the general chat there today. I'm going to do my best
to be more involved over there. But I would love for you guys to submit mailbag questions, because I may try to do episodes on days when I don't have anybody to guest host or host with me. If it's a day when Mary's not here and nobody else can help, I might be able to do mailbag questions and stuff. It makes for a smoother show. So go and join the Discord and join us over there in the PCC section.
Yeah, it's a section. You don't have to join the section. It's just there.
Yep.
It is under. You'll get there. You'll see the Welcome to TMG. You'll see Timcast Media Group. Right under Timcast Media Group, you will see Pop Culture Crisis. There's 3 channels. If you have new submissions that you want to give us, you see a pop culture story that you're like, I would love to see Brett and Mary, or Brett and Olivia, or Brett and Phil, or whoever cover this. Submit it there, create a forum post, and put it there. The mailbag is for general questions for Brett, Mary, or really Brett. Yeah. And then general is to have all general conversations, movie recommendations we can take from there. If there's a really bad movie you want us to watch, go ahead and throw it in there.
Actually, the fastest way for me to not watch something is to send me a recommendation on Discord.
I said for bad movies, review.
Yes, I guess
bad movie review.
Yeah, it's got to be for bad movie review, not just a general.
But if you guys have something you think I like, you can send it there. I don't even know what to say it, Discord phobic as Brett, because my job is to quite literally run a Discord. So
there you go. All right, guys, nostalgia is the millennial drug of choice, and that is there's no further proof more than what you're seeing with Pizza Hut right now.
Yeah, so Pizza Hut is announced is being restored to its former glory, as I like to say. Pizza Hut brings back its old school restaurant features as nostalgic customers rejoice, saying they are so excited. So the article here from the New York Post reads, "Back to the good old days. 2026 has proven to be a year of nostalgia. Even the beloved restaurant chain Pizza Hut is going back in time, reverting to its retro glory, red checker tablecloths and all." Tim Sparks, the president of Dalland Corporation, a Kansas-based company that operates almost 100 Pizza Hut locations across the country.
We are both doing that today. That's okay.
Is helping keep Pizza Hut alive by rewinding the clock and redecorating over 80 annoyingly modern, stark-looking locations to make them look like they did decades ago. Red roof? Check. Red checker tablecloths, vinyl booths, and Tiffany-styled lamps? Check, check, and check.
Shall we watch this video?
Sure.
Let's watch the video.
Yeah, let's go.
Here we go.
Tunkhannock, Pennsylvania, a familiar red roof catches the eye. Inside, the vinyl booths, Tiffany-style lamps, and yes, the salad bar you may remember from decades ago.
I mean, it's amazing the comments we have about, they have the red cups. Yes, we do.
Tim Sparks got his start working at a Pizza Hut that looked like this. He's now president of Dalland Corporation, which owns this franchise and more than 80 others around the country. They've redecorated many restaurants to rewind the clock.
It looks exactly like the one that I remember from when I was a kid.
Yeah, that's what we were after.
Some Pizza Hut classics are now top-performing locations. Customers show up for a piece of their childhood.
It just brings back memories.
To share with their own kids.
When you finally find something that tastes how you genuinely remember it tasting,
Bro's got the Harry Potter
Look
glasses.
at him. You
That's
don't remember
crazy.
tasting.
can't let it go.
People come from 2 and 3 hours away, and I'm not making that up.
More restaurants are serving up nostalgia. Franchises like Burger King and KFC returned to old school logos and packaging in recent years.
I still think they should be doing that with Mountain Dew and Cherry Coke.
Yes.
Cherry Coke in particular.
Oh, the old Cherry
should be
Coke logo
bringing
went
back,
so
Well, there's 2 of
hard.
them. There's the green. I'm sorry, the purple and black, and then there's also it's like a reddish in
The
black.
maroon and
yeah,
black.
yeah.
I'm thinking of the maroon and black.
But there's both of those are
Both would go hard.
Yeah.
Either one.
At Pizza Hut, they even brought back Pac-Man. But for Sparks, this is much more than a game. It's a mission to rebuild places where families can connect.
If we could get them in here as a family, they do tend to put their phones down and actually have conversations and speak with each other. I'm not going to tell you I know how to fix the world, but I do think that family is a good place to start.
We need to
He doesn't know how to fix the world, but he knows how to fix Pizza Hut.
No, but the thing is here is you can't see it in the shot because of how it's cropped. But he's got a half-eaten piece of pizza there. We need to, if Pizza Hut's gonna win, they need to do the Pizza Wars. They did the Burger Wars with with all the CEOs pretending to like
That's
the burgers.
right. Yes, eat the pizza.
He's gonna have to eat the pizza.
Is a good place to start.
He hopes to renovate more of his restaurants as long as he can find enough of those
That one looks exactly like the one we went to.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Lambs.
Exactly.
They're hard to get.
Yeah, they're almost impossible to get.
A familiar taste,
Well, cheers.
Cheers, bud.
bringing people together
Just like I remember it.
again. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News.
Okay.
So yeah, I love this. Okay, I think they should bring back the pizza buffet as well, where they brought out pizzas regularly and you didn't have to commit to a whole pizza. You could just get a slice of it. That's what I am going to say they should also do, because you could get like the cinnamon stick pizza or whatever too. Really good. I love a good nostalgic, maybe even you could call this themed at this point, themed restaurant. I'm a big fan of themed restaurants, as we know. I will not say what some of them are again, because apparently I can't speak today, and that's already been a problem in the past with themed restaurants. If you know, you know. I am excited for this. It looks like the one we went to, Brett. I don't know if you have those images. You can pull them up
here. Yeah, we went. So we went to one. It was 2 years
Wisconsin.
ago. Yep.
We drove through Wisconsin. This literally looks like it was in the video. I took this picture. We were driving from Minnesota down to Chicago to fly back because it was the most cost-effective way to travel at that time. So we flew into Chicago, drove up through Wisconsin, drove back down through Wisconsin, and on our way back, I told Brett we're making a stop.
Yep.
This is the Book It button. It was during Book It month. We happened to be there.
Book It is back, by the way.
Book It's back. We'll bring that up in a minute. The red cup is there. It doesn't have the Pizza Hut logo, but it's there. And then if you want to go, there's the Book It poster we sat right next to. And then here's me cheesing. Blonde hair and all with the Book It shirt. They gifted us this.
Yep.
Okay. I went in, and I don't have a picture of it really to show right now. I should have brought them, but I didn't think about it. I have Pizza Hut cup earrings. That I made myself. Yep. Remember those miniatures we talked about yesterday? I used those because they sold these little Pizza Hut cups, and I collected enough of them to sell them. And I might have to see if I can start doing that again, because I think that would hit with this new nostalgia bait. But I loved it, and they loved it. He even gave me the shirt. He's like, make sure you wash it. I wore it today. Gave me his shirt. Yep. His work shirt. Bro was an absolute legend, and we should have taken a picture with him.
The place didn't look like it got a lot of business. It looked like
we were also there on a weekday. It was like a Monday or Tuesday,
Mm-hmm.
and middle of the day. It was like 3 p.m. or something. We had a lot of fun. He was like so excited. He was like, look at these earrings, and brought his manager out. He's like, look at our earrings. It was super fun. You guys can go to my Instagram and see. I did not want to listen to my own voice, so I didn't tell him to play the Instagram reel or whatever. Go back and you guys can watch that. I know a lot of you did, but you should go back. If you scroll through, my Instagram's not very, like, I don't have a big Instagram, so you should be able to find it right away. It was in Wisconsin, and I surprised Brett with it because he was like, I'm hungry, and I was like, don't eat anything. He was like, why can't I eat? And I said, just wait. I found a Pizza Hut classic. We went.
So this
the best time.
This all started. So before it became like a right-wing thing to talk about Pizza Hut being like some like it's some bastion of like a better time in America. And we'll get into that a little bit more later when we talk about Blockbuster, because I think that there's some rose-tinted glasses there for a lot of people. The big joke for me was there was a Substack that I followed that had all the Pizza Hut classics in America, and the whole point was like we were gonna find a reason to go to one as long as we were in an area where one existed. But nostalgia is a very, very powerful weapon in business, ladies and gentlemen. Like when that guy says that stuff in the interview, not to be, all depressing sounding, but when he's talking about like saving America, or when he's talking about like bringing families together, what he's talking about is making Pizza Hut more money. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's perfectly fine.
I agree. I think, that's the Substack I used, by the way, to find that location.
Yes.
But I remember the tail end of the Great Pizza Hut era. I was a kid. I remember that. It's funny. I will give a quick anecdote. My dad's company used to do glass for some of the Pizza Huts in our area.
Yes, that was crazy.
That was crazy. We talked to him this morning, and he said they did some glass for the Pizza Huts in our area for some of those like classic Pizza Huts. And if they weren't all retiring this year, I would say they should do more of it when they restore them. But he would do that. I love that. And my dad actually said, they have decent pizza. You just don't go a lot because you don't go and like sit and have the environment.
We don't have one over here.
No, we really don't.
I'm going to play this for you. Since we're talking about millennial nostalgia, I'm going to remind you guys all of this video in case you haven't seen this one in quite some time. This is the highest res version of this. And you guys, anybody who's my age will know exactly where this came from as soon as they hear it.
dragging on. There's strikes on the batter, some runners are on. Then suddenly everyone's looking at me. My mind has been wondering, what could it be? They point to the sky and I look up above, and a baseball falls into my glove. I play right field. It's important to know. You gotta know how to catch. You gotta know how to throw. That's why I play in right field, way out where the dandelions grow.
As a proud sponsor of Little League Baseball, Pizza Hut welcomes all the kids who make it great.
The funny part is I can sing the whole song word for word because
I actually somehow know part of that song, and I don't think I ever saw this commercial.
it's
That's insane.
It came on the VHS tape for the 1990 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. And the reason for this is why it's a funny story is because Pizza Hut was the proud sponsor of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They were connected for a very long time because Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and pizza go hand in hand. Yeah. But they used Domino's in the first movie.
And it said making it great, not no one out pizzas the Hut.
Well, this was before that.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
The slogan. So when we were talking about nobody out pizzas the Hut the other day, my point was this was the slogan that I remember.
Yeah, I know no one out pizzas the Hut. I love the one that says, there's like a sticker that someone made that said no one out pizza, or I out pizza the Hut. Now the CIA is trying
Mike,
to find me.
I literally just said that, buddy. I said Domino's is in the movie when he says 122 and an 8. He says, I got to get a new route.
You guys.
I thought I'd deliver it everywhere.
Don't bring up the movie with Brett. Please,
the point
save
is,
me.
that was the contradiction there, was that the movie was sponsored by Pizza Hut on the VHS, but it was Domino's in the actual movie.
You know what we also need to bring back?
Wise man say
on the topic of
divine.
Pizza Hut? Target food court.
Yep.
With the neon lights, with the pizza. We saw Pizza Hut Express at a Target that we were at last weekend or something. And that was fine, but it was all like take it to go. And they didn't even have the dipping sauce for the breadsticks. So really, what are they doing? We need to bring back the big one where they have the popcorn, the soda, they have the Pizza Hut Express, and a huge seating area, and the neon lights. That's the vibe I want. That's what I grew up going to. And the old Walmart that would have like the walk-up McDonald's that you could go to that was like themed.
Yeah.
I need that back. I desperately need that back. There is the infamous, what is it called? The infamous like jungle McDonald's that it was like the last one to get modernized.
Doing that because
it was the last one to get modernized.
Were a cesspool that were going to get your kids sick.
But it was, well, your kids are going to get sick anyway. But it was one of the ones that even on the outside had all of these jungle characters or whatever, and it's gone now. And there's a before and after. Are you looking it up? Because I am right now.
No. Somebody said I called Olivia Buddy. No, I called Mike Buddy.
Also, he should be calling me buddy. Should he?
Oh,
not?
guys, when we were live over the weekend,
On
I called
Sunday?
her babe on air.
He's never called me that
before. It was rough. That
He's
happens.
never ever called me that actually.
Look, millennials have a very, very deep affection for nostalgia, and like I said, we'll get into more of that later. But this is, as a business model, probably, I don't know. Like, I don't know how much you're going to actually make inroads in the idea of getting people to go out and eat pizza in person these days.
I wish I could find
when most people have their pizza delivered.
There's a side by side of this one McDonald's, okay? And I'm trying desperately. Okay, this is a Reddit link, so I apologize. But it was in Texas is where it was. So there was a themed McDonald's that looked like Toys R Us and McDonald's had a baby, okay? That's what this looks like. I'm going to send it to you here so you can pull that up. But then they made it, think of what you see now for McDonald's, like the very corporatized McDonald's, where it just looks like somebody took modernization and threw up all over it. It used to look like this, and now it is just a gray former shell of itself. And the modernizing of this one is heartbreaking to me. It's giving Rainforest Cafe. It's giving, I don't know what the other pictures look like. I was just looking at
that
the
was
one.
another weird TV or weird food history one
still
that I watched
exists.
was about themed restaurants.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to talk about them because then I get things wrong and it turns into a very different conversation when I talk about certain cafes. So, my bad. That's okay.
But we also had this here. So Pizza Hut isn't just bringing back Pizza Hut classics. They are also bringing back the Book It program. Summer reading program returns to provide voracious young readers with pizza parties and more.
Give us a crisis party so I can dance about it.
Yes, a nostalgic incentive to keep kids reading over the summer is making a return. On April 23rd, Book It announced the exciting news on Instagram that Summer of Stories is back. The program, familiar to many Gen X and millennials who participated in elementary school, will open for enrollment May 1st, the organization has revealed. Get ready to turn reading time into pizza time this summer. Keep your kids reading and learning and loving books, all while earning free pizza. Readers who hit their milestones will be provided digital reading award certificates, which are redeemable for a free one-topping personal pan pizza from Pizza Hut. Students may redeem one reading award certificate per month, and the certificate must be used to reward the student who earned it. The student must be present when a child redeems their certificate with Pizza Hut. They are celebrated. This program is completely free.
I wonder if you guys remember this. This might be a Michigan thing because that's where Little Caesars was founded. We did a Little Caesars fundraiser. So Book It was like, obviously to get people to read. We also did a Little Caesars fundraiser where you would get like the dough to make them at home. And we used to always get the chocolate chip cookie tubs because my brother loved them. And I guess they still do it, which is very satisfying for me. I don't know why I just remembered that, but it just popped in my brain and I was like, I can't be the only one that did this.
Yeah.
I wonder if anyone else did that. But we are getting absolutely out in the weeds here on the topic. So let's rein it back in. I am, I'm for this. I don't think it's this we are so back thing. What did we talk about last week with the we are so back? And I said we're not so back.
I don't remember.
It was just, there was something else we talked about.
We talk about a lot of things where people say
I hate the we are so back mentality because you're not winning the culture by redeeming Pizza Hut. But you are bringing back a sense of nostalgia and a place for families to go, and that can contribute to changing things, but it's not going to save this country or something. I get the meme. Friend of the company, Jack Posobiec, is a big proponent of this. He was the first person I thought of when I saw this article. I was like, oh, Jack Posobiec's going to be super excited. So good news for Jack Posobiec. Good news for pizza lovers everywhere. I'll take what I can get.
The answer, Mike, is Donatello. I'm going to read the super chat. Mike says, Bert, who is sitting with Mikey in sewers awaiting for the late pizza moped driver? Donatello.
Yes.
That's the answer. Wise men say forgiveness is divine, but never pay full price for late pizza.
Guys, don't ever watch that movie. Like, if Brett's ever like, we should do a watch along, say no. For your own sanity.
We should.
No, we shouldn't.
Maybe
one day we'll do, when the coffee shop opens up, we'll do a movie night. We'll watch it, and you guys can just listen to Brett rattle off every line of that movie so that I don't have to do it again.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. We have a 20. Not that John Stewart can confirm Little Caesars still does fundraisers. Brought a kid from a coworker who was shilling for his kids. You're in Michigan. That makes sense. That is awesome. Oh, now I really want it. I'm craving it now. It's like something about getting the tub of the cookie dough. Oh, it sounds so good. Man, okay, you know what? Might have to be like, Dad, do you know anyone with kids that we can get this? If it's in Michigan. All right.
Pizza time tonight, I think. I'm gonna eat pizza
no.
tonight. Oh, yeah.
I cooked last night.
Meatloaf.
Meatloaf night. Dude, I was thinking about tacos, and I was like, girlie, we can't do that. I just cooked, unless I freeze some of the meatloaf, which is still a possibility. We talk about this every time I make meatloaf. Let's move on to cute and cringe of the day.
What would you like to see first?
The cringe is not bad today, you guys. It's topical. This is for Mary, really.
Yes.
I thought she would hate and love this at the same time. So for Mary, we are going to talk about the Pope and his cringy moment.
Com'è che fate?
Six
I think because Barack Obama was so like pop culture and media literate that now I just think of every old person who's extremely like caught up or even pretending to be caught up on trends to be inherently nefarious. He didn't look like he knew what was going on. That's a good thing.
Okay, I hope these kids look back in 20 years at this video of the one time they had the honor to meet the Pope. And they did 6'7" with him. I hope they're embarrassed by it in 20 years. I'm not going to shame the kids now.
But the thing is like, it's like trend. Like, this isn't even 20 years ago when a trend would last for a couple of months. 6'7" was old news like a year ago.
Not the typo in chat.
Oh! It does.
God.
The meat load slaps. That's okay.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. to give me a second. I'm so sorry, you guys.
I'm making merch out of that.
I need a second.
I don't know what meatloaf is, but
It slaps.
somebody said I don't think Brett likes the meatloaf very much, and I meant to
Brett,
say I was
no.
defending you, and then I typoed. That's okay.
I'm so sorry. Bring up cue to the day. You're gonna have to. I can't.
I'm leaving it on you. There we go.
I can't. Keep going.
All right.
I'm so
Here we
sorry.
Cute of the day. Here we go.
Sorry.
Now I'm just gonna talk to the chat
I'm so
now.
sorry, you guys. Go ahead. Get to cue to the day.
And the funny thing is, usually I try to do my best to like type while looking at you or whoever I'm with, and then you'd think the typo would happen there. I think I was actually looking when I was typing and just didn't pay attention.
I literally have tears. Oh my god, I'm sorry, you guys. I was reading it.
Cute of the day, ladies and gentlemen, from Alan.
Hello.
Says Dolly and Inu out for a stroll, the two best girls in all of Canada.
Oh, hi. They are the best girls in Canada. I love that for them. Very cute. Very cutesy. Whew. I'm so sorry. I know I probably laughed way harder, but it's just because Brett is who he is to me. It's even funnier. We're going to be at home now, and we're going to go to eat the meatloaf tonight. I'm going to be like, how's your meatloaf? I gotta get it together before we start the main topics, man. I gotta pull it together.
Like I said, I'm gonna. You know what? Speaking of meatloaf, let's talk about Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco. Let's talk about the fact that one thing celebrities don't seem to understand is that we as human beings should all know less about each other. And no time is more proven than what we just learned 3 or 4 minutes ago.
Yes.
If you're watching the clip version of this, that won't make any sense to you.
Yep.
That's fine, though. Let's talk about Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco and the fact that Benny Blanco says that he is not allowed to discuss his sex life with Selena Gomez.
You can show me. I'm good.
Oh, does it not have? Oh,
It
there we
doesn't
go.
have me. I was like, I'm okay.
So it says, when it comes to the bedroom, Benny Blanco's lips are sealed. The record producer revealed that he is quote unquote not allowed to talk about his wife, Selena Gomez's sex life publicly. That's a good thing, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, it is.
Blanco was also was asked to divulge intimate details during a recent episode of his Friends Keeping Secrets podcast with co-host Lil Dicky. I'll never get over that. And his wife, Kristen. But he shut it down instantly. I'm not allowed to talk about that publicly, he told his co-host, prompting Lil Dicky, it's hard to say that with a straight face, to ask him if the pop star had made him sign an NDA, which would have been a good idea. No, I'm just a gentleman, he said. Kind of just a thing I do. I'm like a gentleman, so I don't know. Don't worry. Now, he is correct. Everybody would be better off speaking less about these types of things in public. Celebrities in particular, we were talking, was it a week ago or 2 weeks ago, about Hillary Duff getting into her dating past, talking about she wasn't attracted to her husband at first.
I remember that.
He was a bad boy. He wasn't a bad boy. But then I was thinking about it, and I saw this tweet the other day, and it kind of reaffirmed everything that I just said. Boy Meets World star William Daniels, he played Mr. Phoenix. Mr. Feeney detailed the rules of his open marriage with his wife.
Oh, we don't need that.
99 and 96.
What?
How
old?
He is 99. She is 96.
What?
And he was detailing the open relationship between of them. Don't worry, guys. It's not exactly what you think. It's kind of like when Dolly Parton talked about her open marriage, and it turned out that she didn't just know. She just didn't seem to know what the term meant.
Yeah.
Here's the article, though, so you can get an idea of what we're saying. William Daniels, age 99, and Bonnie Bartlett, age 96, who are celebrating their 75th wedding anniversary next month, are clarifying earlier remarks they made about their, quote, open marriage. It's funny. The press will pick up on something and make more of it than what it was, she told the Daily Mail in a recent interview. I wonder who the person was who got assigned to the duty of talking to like Mr. Feeney and his wife about their sex lives.
Yeah, that's got to be a rough one.
There was never any discussion as to what we were going to do, but in 75 years, the two of us together, it would be abnormal if you weren't attracted occasionally to other people. Bartlett added, there have been times, yes, both of us on both sides, which she wrote about in her autobiography, Middle of the Rainbow, came out back in 2023. Saying it happened to both of them, him and her. The actress explained that she and Daniels, best known for playing Mr. Feeney on the beloved family sitcom Boy Meets World, never discussed the arrangement. Bill and I never sat down and made rules, she said. We never sit down and talk about these things. We just don't. We just live our lives. And if he's away for a year, he's away for a year. Our lives just went on, but we never got unhinged. But our lives did go on in different directions occasionally. The Little House on the Prairie alums had previously revealed that the two had an open marriage, which was very painful and didn't work well. Well, that's shocking. And it was at a time when people were doing that, she continued. I wonder if she knows that that's probably more common now than it was then, with polycules and weirdness going on. She says it was a time in New York when there was a lot of sex and a lot of people doing all kinds of things, very free. She confessed to having an affair that lasted a few months with a slightly boring actor around 1959, 8 years after she got married. Daniels, meanwhile, stepped outside their marriage with a producer in the 70s that left Bartlett devastated, and she realized she could no longer tolerate any kind of open marriage. Bartlett appeared a little shocked that the couple were celebrating a milestone anniversary. You don't plan for it. You really don't plan for it, she said. I'm not at all romantic or anything like that. I'm a big believer in today, And then all of a sudden it's 75 years and it's kind of amazing.
What?
So the funny thing is they both seem suitably detached.
Yeah, they do.
They're kind of perfect for each other.
I guess. I mean, if that's how it works, that's how it works. It's like, I'm one of those people that I think polycules and all this stuff is really dumb and stupid and actually leads to the degradation of American society in so many ways. But at the same time, I can't be bothered. This segment's gonna be really hard to get through with Lil Dicky and Meatloaf.
And Meatloaf. I said Mr. Feeney would not approve of Meatloaf jokes. He would ban you from the classroom.
He would. I am trying so hard not to laugh.
So my point is more that the instinct from celebrities is to talk more about it.
Yes.
And the instinct should be that a little bit of mystery in this realm would be beneficial.
Also, I really miss when anything sexual, anything about sex life, any of those topics just didn't come up. I really miss when you didn't have to talk to people about yours or just generally speaking someone's sex life.
Look, in the realm of this industry, talking about it at least makes sense because you report on
Does it make sense? Yes, but it's
but it's when the celebrities go out of their way to tell the stories about it on the podcast that you wonder. Like I get the people talking about it to other people, like talking about the stories more than I do the person who decides to make their own personal business public.
Yes, I'm sorry. I keep thinking about it now that I'm looking at you. I can't stop thinking about it too. So, but the reason you guys will talk about it on a show like this is that they bring it up.
Yes.
Right? That's the reason. So they shouldn't even be bringing it up to begin with. I don't need to know about any of your sex life, and nor do I really care.
Or somebody who is like 99 years old.
Yeah, I don't care what you did when you were 20, 30, 40. I don't care if you're 99, 100, 200. I don't need to know about your sex life. It's weird, it's cringy, and it literally is like, as much as a topic can give you the ick, it does for me. I can't do it. I can't think about... I can't think about somebody's.
Well, the thing is
Mr.
Feeney was like a cultural icon.
I know, I hate it.
And like all of the quote tweets were like, "Crap! I read the article headline thinking that he had died. This is so much worse."
Yeah, no, this is literally so much worse. I'd rather him die and I never know about his sex life. I don't want him to die. I'm sorry, but I'd rather know about not have him dying and I don't know about his sex life.
The quote tweets are, Mr. Feeney was a freak. That's a mental image I never wanted.
No.
You can't tie a man like Mr. Feeney down.
It's like when you hear about something super degenerate that like a wholesome TV dad did or something where you're like, oh, I did not need to know that.
So
Thank you.
This was true of Bob Saget, who was actually a very raunchy comedian who was famous for Full House.
Yeah, I was just thinking about him when I was saying that. Bob Saget. I couldn't remember if that was him who had the raunchy comedy, so I didn't want to bring it up. But yes, and then he tragically died way too young. Still, he would have been 70 a couple days ago. Actually, his wife posted about it, but. I can only take so much of talk about other people's sex lives in general, because when you become part of some kind of public space, whether it's a pop culture public space, a podcasting public space, somehow people want to, because they are so used to knowing about that, they feel like they need to know about that. It's like the conversation of how many bodies do you have? You know, what is like the freakiest thing you've ever done? It's like the whatever podcast.
In
it's weird.
In influencer spaces right now, we've talked about this before on the podcast, which is like there is an incentive to being as open with the most embarrassing aspects of your private life as possible, because society, which I feel has more to do with the fact that people are starved for actual real world human connection. They conflate the idea of somebody sharing embarrassing or personal aspects of themselves as part of their, as being let into a person's private life when they're not.
Yeah, I agree. I just think that there's really no need for it. That is my take. There is no need to know any of this stuff. And I don't want to think about it, because these dudes are like my dad's age.
We
like
talked about it
Bob
with
Saget.
We talked about it with the influencer topic last week a little bit, with the lady who did the video about try being an influencer for a day.
Try being an influencer for a day. Yeah, I mean she talked about how her marriage fell apart and all that, and I can't do it. It's so icky to me. Let's make it the norm that we don't talk about sex at all. How about that? Like, unless it's like in relation to a crime, how about we don't talk about it? Because
so Law and Order
sex
SVU
life,
episode.
yeah, but like your sex life is your sex life, and no one else needs to know about that. Your great grandchildren don't need to know about it. You don't need to share it with your kids. Your kids definitely don't want to know about it. It's better to just not talk about it.
I'm just going through some of these quote tweets. Mikey Harlow says, "Today in headlines to ruin your day." This person says, "One only with Ben Shapiro." I don't know what that means, but I thought it was worth mentioning. This one says, "I promise you we could have went our entire lives without knowing this, Mr. Feeney."
Yep.
This person says, "Sees the picture. Oh no, I hope he's not dead. Reads headline. Okay, maybe that would have been for the best." That's rude.
That's rude, but I get what they're saying. They prefer
rude.
like the headline to be that than to be about a sex life.
Yeah. Yep. So look, we could like this will never happen with the Whatever podcast being what it is. As long as female podcasters like Alex Cooper exist, the women are going to go on that show and share the most embarrassing details of their private lives, and it's going to make fodder for everybody who wants to talk about it. That's just the way that those things are going to go. All right. Let's move on then. Let's talk about doggos.
Yes, let's talk about...
That was ironic, by the way. Doggos is an ironic term.
Yes, let's talk about the puppy epidemic. And if you're like, what is that? And why does that sound awesome? You're right to think that. But there is a serious debate that has been had on this channel before, actually, that we are going to talk about. So the headline from The Guardian reads, she's compared her... I always want to say Dachshund. It's Dachshund. She always compares her dachshund. It looks like Dachshund. Mm-hmm. She compared her dachshund to my newborn baby. Should you be able to bring your dog everywhere? The story goes, out for dinner in London with her husband and 2-month-old, woman noticed another woman coming into the restaurant with a stroller. I'm not going to say what they call them. That's British and stupid. It had all these little trinkets and toys, she said. It was like, wow, she put some cute decor in there. And when the women reached to pick up something from the stroller, it was not a baby. It was a puppy. Pulled out a doggo. Pulled out a dog. She then put an absorption pad, the kind you would use for training, on the floor and placed the puppy on it. She said she was completely taken aback to see pretty much an open bathroom where I was dining with my newborn. So she's saying like the dog using the bathroom.
Doesn't seem sanitary.
It sounds like it's inside too. When I worked at a restaurant, we would not let people in that had dogs unless they were, 1, checking in, they had a dog with them, or 2, they had a service animal. Because obviously you let service animals in, well-behaved dogs. And so now people are going back and forth online talking about people bringing dogs into public spaces. I did find an opinion from last year, I believe, or no, 2 years ago, where this woman who writes for this very, very niche news outlet said something I noticed while traveling, especially on the West Coast, is that people bring their dogs everywhere, and I mean everywhere, to every normal place like the beach and the park, but also in stores, big or small, grocery stores, restaurants, indoor and outdoor, and these aren't service dogs. These dogs are not marked with any medical needs. They are house pets. I found this extremely interesting to see because in Chicago, dogs are not welcomed in restaurants or in most public spaces. She continues to say, I think that dogs should not be allowed in public spaces, especially in spaces such as restaurants and stores. Dogs can pose a health risk and a safety risk for patrons and overall can be an irritation to customers such as myself. I do not say this to be hating on dogs. I have a dog myself and bring her around outside, but I would never think to bring her into a restaurant or a store. People want to feel safe in an establishment. I am sure people wonder when dogs are in our spaces if the dog will make them sick. I mean, I've never thought that, but like I can understand what she is saying.
Oh, absolutely.
If it's like using the bathroom on like, you know, you're putting it on like a pee pad and then it, like that's gross.
That's disgusting.
That is so gross. Like that is disgusting. And so she's saying dogs also being allowed in spaces where there are prepared meals can pose a food risk, which is true. Again, we would let service animals in and they would have to sit on the floor until the food was prepared. They could not sit in the booth until the food is prepared. And we would have them sit in the back where they're the farthest point away from where we were cooking, because if they were in that main stretch of booths, they'd be right by where we are cooking, and we did not want that, obviously. Now, we understand, obviously, people have service pets, and that's not an issue, but the problem arises where you have, it's like that video that Mary went off on with the dog in the middle of the table eating food and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Your dad has a particular disdain for dogs in restaurants, which is why I sent you this topic to begin with, because your father has a very deep disdain.
It's
full
completely
on,
reasonable.
I mean, it's reasonable, but I'm saying he has a complete
reasonable.
disdain for this. I'm not saying it's unreasonable. I'm just saying he really hates it. So here's the thing. You're traveling with a dog. You want to go eat. You get McDonald's. You get Wendy's. You get fast food, because that's the thing you are changing. Like, that is what you have to give up to bring your dog in. I saw someone in the chat say other people's dogs are gross. Well, they think your dog is gross. And so that's the problem we're seeing here. Do I love seeing dogs in public? Absolutely. I love seeing dogs in public. I love petting them. I love, loving up on them if they're not service dogs. Very important. But do not, first of all, you are not a parent. Okay, they're equating it in the first article to being a parent. We have jokingly to each other said cat mom, cat dad.
Oh, we've never said cat dad.
No.
I've said cat mom to you, but nobody's calling me a cat dad.
Or just mom and dad, I should say. Like mom and dad as a joke, right? It's obviously tongue in cheek.
These are some of my favorite people to watch argue on X. Are the people who argue about pet
My
sentience.
family got me a cat hat, or a cat mom hat. It's actually a really cute hat, so I actually like it and I wear it. But I don't actually think of my cats as my children.
Also, there's an epidemic going around of dogs that are very clearly not service animals, just having service vests.
We saw that last 2-3 weekends ago at the one vendor fair we did. There were actually people training service dogs, which was really cool. They said in training, and they all had that, and I was like, sweet, love that. But when they bring them in, and it's very clear that it's this, like the one Tank that we showed yesterday, he's a mini dachshund. That is not a service dog.
No,
that is not an alert dog. That is not. We actually saw an alert dog over the weekend who was trying to alert a guy who said, well, I have cancer, dogs can smell cancer, and this dog was trying to alert the guy that something was wrong. It turns out the guy has cancer and he has an alert dog, but this other dog somehow knew. So really weird. I will never understand that. It's a way to get your pet in, but it's not your kid, right? So something that I will do is I'll hold Toast either like this or like up on my shoulder and bounce her. And every time because she loves it. She absolutely loves it. And every time I do, I look at Brett and I'm like, we need a child so badly, dude. This is out of hand. Because she likes being bounced like that. Toast likes it. So I do it for her. But we desperately need a child. So I'm like, okay, you can say taking care of an animal, I'm not going to say it makes you a mom or a dad. It does make you responsible for a living thing. And that's very important. It teaches a lot of good lessons. That's why when you have kids, having pets is so important, I think, to a child's development, because it teaches them how to care for another living being. But it doesn't make you a parent in that sense. You're an owner. You are an owner for sure. You own a cat or a dog that you pay to take care of. And I love my cats. I'd give a kidney for them if I had to. But they're not my children, and I recognize that. I'm not someone, if I have to take them out in public, it's because we are taking them to the vet.
Yeah, they'd
or
be
something.
going to the vet.
Going to the vet. The only other time
the
Toast was out in public was at a PetSmart, and pets are allowed in there. And it was the day we adopted her. And we brought a crate or whatever. We brought one of our old crates. We went and got another crate. Or no, we brought the new crate. But then we brought her in and bought her some toys.
Yeah.
And we were like, we just adopted her. Her name is Toaster Strudel, Toast. So that's the only time she's been in public. So, and that's because you can do that, right? Like you can bring them into a PetSmart. But I would not bring them into a Target. Yeah. Or a Walmart or a restaurant for that matter, because people are also allergic and you don't know how allergic they're going to be. And bring that pet hair out there is just not smart. It's not smart. Okay. Like no, it's bad. So that is my take on the puppy situation. I love animals. You will be hard pressed to find someone that loves animals as much as me. I mean, I'm sure there's people that love them more, but I am a big animal lover. I will protect animals. I braked very hard the other day for a squirrel. Was it?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was.
It was holding an acorn, and I slammed on the brakes because I really did not want to hurt said squirrel. Mm-hmm. That would break my heart. I don't even like to say that they're dead when they are sleeping. If they're taking a long nap on the side of the road, that's it, because I love them so much that it makes me very sad to think about an animal.
So why do you think people have, what do you think the societal reason is that people are bringing their pets everywhere?
Because they are not settling down and getting married and having children. This is a millennial problem. This will become a Gen Z problem eventually. What is happening is that they are promiscuous, even if they're not, but it's either the boss babe attitude or they're promiscuous or both, where they go around. So it's primarily women. I'm going to say that right now. It's primarily women that are bringing their dogs in strollers places, and they don't have kids, but there's such an innate desire to have kids that they will literally treat them like a child. They will get them a stroller. That is insanity. Okay. Insane. We always joke that we see like people pulling their kids in strollers and we're like, we should bring one for the cats. We would never actually do that, obviously, but it's a funny thing I've said to Brett before. And you have this maternal instinct that is so deeply embedded with you that you are somehow misplacing it because you are so bought into this boss babe mentality that you think, well, I can't have kids, but I can have a dog. My dog can just be my kid.
I don't even think you have to be a quote-unquote boss babe to believe that you can't afford to have kids. I think you can just be a regular person who feels like they can't afford to have kids.
I guess, but I'm saying, like, where do I think this stems from? I think it stems from people not having the desire to have kids until they get a dog instead. And they say, I'm a dog mom. Wish me a happy Mother's Day.
I mean, that feels like a weird, like, power move.
No, it's really like, there was a whole thing. I think we saw this over Mother's Day weekend.
I was looking for a thread. I can't find it right now of that exact conversation that people were having. And then it kind of devolved into people talking about like what it actually means to be a mom. Well, you're caring for X creature, therefore this and whatnot. It was very, very depressing, and we just get further away from what it's supposed to be every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember the idea of carrying a tiny dog around in public used to be the purview of like self-obsessed reality stars.
It was the
like
Elle
a
Woods
Paris Hilton
or like an Elle Woods from Legally Blonde,
yes.
like that character. Yes, absolutely. And it was like a rich elite thing. But also they would keep it in a bag. At least they also kept it in a bag, a purse or whatever. They wouldn't just let it out everywhere. But to put it on like a pee pad is so... Also, cleaning up a pee pad is so gross, you guys. Chloe uses it because she's I almost said a word I shouldn't. She's fat and not the brightest, and so sometimes she uses one, not everywhere in the house, just this one spot in the house. Literally just misses her box. That's it.
And the idea that you would then bring that into a place specifically for eating.
Do you have a trash bag? Like, where is it going when the animal's off of it? That's so gross.
Yep.
So gross. Okay.
It was Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie. Yeah, it was a trope of the reality TV stars.
Yeah.
They couldn't connect. They were too self-obsessed to connect with regular people. So the closest thing they could have to an actual friend was a dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, a pampered poodle. Yeah, it's I would say keep them out of the restaurants. I don't think that shouldn't be controversial. Like outside of service animals, I don't think that should be controversial to keep the.
I agree.
But this also connects back to mental health crisis in America as something where people used to talk about the concept of emotional support pets. And we talked a lot about emotional support pet. I don't know if we've actually talked about that on the show, but the idea of an emotional support pet being something that somebody needs just to go out into public because they have anxiety or something like that. Well, you know, the bar is very
fine.
Yes.
Alert dogs, and like in Sue Thomas FBI, she has a hearing dog that hears things and
It's
alerts
so
her.
different, too.
But that's an
That's-
alert dog.
yes.
That's an alert dog. Guys, I know this is really unusual, but someone just entered the studio and took a seat. Hello. Hi. Oh, wait, his mic's off. Turn his mic on.
Go for it.
Mikey,
Now
1, 2.
you are.
Hey, what's
Hey.
up? Hey, everybody, I'm back. Hey.
We got Brando here. He is joining us for the last part of the show today.
Yep.
Apologies, our recording ran a little late. We ended up doing like an hour and a half today.
Okay.
So, but I figured I'd come crash the party with you guys and see
We'll
what's
take
up.
it. That means he likes to come out and hang out with us, which is awesome.
Yeah,
So
man. Tuesdays
we
and
can get-
Thursdays have been awesome.
They
I
are
love
fun.
How do you feel about people bringing dogs in public? Like dogs in a restaurant?
Like a restaurant, a store.
it. If they're trained.
We don't mean like a service dog. We mean like someone's bringing their dog to a restaurant and they're setting it down onto like a pee pad while they eat their food.
If they're trained.
Really?
So I'm avid dog lover. I had a dog for 16 years. I took him everywhere with me. There were places I didn't. You know, if you're doing your right thing, your dog is leashed, your dog is well behaved, he's not attacking people, he just kind of minds his business, does his thing. I don't mind it.
I guess it depends on the proximity to other tables
Mm-hmm.
too. I could see that. If you're like outside restaurant, totally. I
Well, yeah, because some people are allergic to dogs and stuff
right.
like that.
I think
you
in
know.
an indoor restaurant, like around food and stuff, it's kind of, it can come off unsanitary and a lot of people wouldn't be okay
So
with
it's like
it.
a hygiene thing for you?
Yeah, I think what we were reading about is people are treating them like children at this point. People are treating their dogs like children.
Yes, that happened when we had dog mom and dog dad
Yes.
be birthed
Yes,
as a descriptor,
birthed.
and then obviously people putting their dogs in diapers and things like
Well,
that.
it started with somebody.
Cats in a stroller with
It started
buttons
with
on.
somebody. The person that brought their animal and put it on a pee pad brought it in a stroller, and that was when they were like. And I could understand maybe on a hot day if you're like taking your dog for a walk and it has like a little way to block the sun, or like, you know, the little boots so that
Or
their
maybe if
paws
your
don't
puppy's
burn.
like 2 weeks old, I don't know, but
It
that's
has to be taken somewhere.
we're getting
yeah.
borderline weird here with this. This
Yeah,
is turning
so that
into like
was-
this person
yeah.
has issues.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Is like I think some people take it too far. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yeah, I think some people do take it too far. But we talked about Pizza Hut and nostalgia baiting. That's not the only thing nostalgia baiting right now.
Yeah,
There's
let's-
another company.
Didn't they
nostalgia
revamp
baiting.
Pizza Hut?
Yeah,
is that the
so-
thing we're talking about?
We just talked about
we
it.
talked earlier in the show today, guys, about the fact that Pizza Hut is renovating a bunch of different restaurants to bring back Pizza Hut Classic, so that you can go into the restaurant, you can get the salad bar, you get the Tiffany lamps, you get the feeling you got when you were a kid, and that's what I think most of this is about. It's not actually about the fact that people like going to eat pizza someplace not at home. It's millennials being desperate to recapture some aspect of their childhood, which they are, of course, never going to actually be able to do, which is a weird it's something that can never actually be fixed. But now we have the concept is the same with Blockbuster, where people have romanticized Blockbuster as this cultural touchstone moment that somehow kept society together back when we were kids in the 90s. This was a tweet that somebody said, "If Pizza Hut can return, then we can resurrect Blockbuster." No, you can't. And we should. While Netflix may make things more convenient, we lost something irreplaceable. The ritual of going to a place with your family or friends to choose a story together, the experience was special. Well, I would disagree with the concept that you can bring it back. It's never going to happen.
We've gone too far.
You are like the idea that you are going to get people to buy DVD players again, or Blu-rays again,
Yeah.
or mass-produce VHSs again.
I was gonna say if he doesn't get to VHS here, I'm gonna have to throw it in because that's
Yes.
really where the nostalgia was you had a VCR. No one was like, oh, I'm gonna go rent a DVD tonight. No, that's how we got into Netflix in the first place. But I digress.
Yes. So I saw a bunch of tweets about it, and I'll read some of the critiques that people had of it because I had similar ones. But this is what I thought of, which is that, look, it depended on the Blockbuster you went to, but a lot of people didn't like the fact that Blockbuster was one of those first iterations of a large company pushing out smaller mom and pop video rental places. The late fees were stupid. And the new releases were always out, and you could never actually find a movie that you wanted to watch. People have an embarrassment of riches now where they don't realize how good you've got it. You can go between 5 different streaming services and realize that the one thing you wanted to watch isn't on there without understanding that you could go and buy the DVDs yourself still to this day, probably for cheaper than what you're paying to go to all these streaming services, especially if it's something old. You can go to a thrift store and find them for like a quarter of the price. But this is it. It's not the blockbuster that you miss. You miss community. You miss family. You miss the idea of having your friends over for sleepovers. You miss the idea of LAN parties. You miss the idea of shared monoculture. A world where you all went and rented the same 5 movies as opposed to watching whatever obscure streamer or obscure IRL streamer or person on YouTube that you watch. Instead of watching Pop Culture Crisis like you are doing now, you watched the same 5 actors. You watched Adam Sandler, you watched Jim Carrey, you watched Sylvester Stallone. You know, you watch the same people as everybody else. Now everybody is sequestered into their own little niches of the internet, and you yearn for a simpler time. You want a world where your parents paid the late fees when you didn't return your videos on time. And you want to have a world of less responsibilities, and you want the shared community.
Yeah, I always liked going with
You don't miss Blockbuster.
My stepmom and I would go pick out movies and stuff. My brother, we'd all get like a snack or whatever. But, and I know chat's being critical of Brett right now, but think about this, okay? To rent a movie, you are spending money. Where Pizza Hut, the novelty is there. It's a place where you can go and eat out, and you are willing to spend that money if you're already going to go and get pizza, right? That's money you're willing to go every Friday night. The novelty would wear off very fast. Now, if they did a Blockbuster pop-up in multiple locations, it would be very successful. But long-term, the novelty would wear off very fast. It would absolutely just... Because Pizza Hut can still operate inside and outside of that, right? So it can still deliver pizzas while having the indoor space for the buffets. Whereas a movie, it is going to basically be... It's going to be more expensive, first of all. So now you're going to be choosing between 2 nostalgic things. But you are also going to be expecting, you know, your kids and all that to find a movie you can all watch, a family-friendly movie. Got to do that.
Yeah, that'd be the hardest part to do.
Yeah. And then...
You have to rent the Sheep Detectives and nothing else.
That's it. And I understand. I think, again, pop-ups, it would be so nostalgic. People would go out in droves for this. I don't think over time the longevity is there, unfortunately. I don't think it is. Because... That's why these places failed in the first place.
I bet you didn't rewind your VHSs either.
Someone said in the chat said they never did it because
Be
people get
kind,
paid to
rewind.
do it. That's right. I don't know. What do you think, Brandon? Because I think the novelty wears off.
No, you're 100% right. And I got to go with Brett on this one. I think these people that believe this would probably benefit more from seeing a therapist than seeing a Blockbuster come back into existence. But
I just think
you're 100% right. It's about the nostalgia. It's about the feeling. It's about the things that you used to do. Now, here's the thing. It
represented something.
Yes, absolutely. But times change and we evolve, right? We've moved on to other things. Now, it really just means that you have to find a way to get these kind of nostalgic feelings and pleasures out of doing something else. It's not a crazy thing to move on, you know? I miss Blockbuster. It was awesome, but like I have to agree with Brett. There's some corner of my mind that just misses it because of what it was, not because it was Blockbuster.
Yeah.
You know?
When you had Blockbuster, you had cable TV, and you dreamed of the idea that you could have every season of every show that you wanted to watch, or even just some of the shows, because somebody's going to immediately make the comment like, well, the shows I want aren't on there. But the fact that you can go to a streaming service now and find a show that you haven't watched in 10 years, and every single season is available for you to watch right now. People think that the only thing that you because they complain about the fact that you have to have like all of these streaming services and somehow it's just like cable. It's nothing like cable. If it was cable, you wouldn't be able to rewatch stuff or choose which episode you wanted to watch.
And what people are missing is back then, you're dealing with VHS output. You couldn't see a movie outside of theaters for like a year and a half because you're waiting on production, you're waiting on distribution, you're waiting on licensing. All of this shit now happens within a matter of weeks. If a movie sucks now, it's straight to streaming. In 2 weeks, you can see a movie that's still in theaters. You want to pay $30 now, you can see a movie that's still in theaters with the right subscription. So
but I have a good middle ground for everybody. Okay. We live near a small town that does, in the summer, movie nights on the hill. What you can do is you can go to the dollar store, get candy with your kiddos. They always play family-friendly movies. You can also go to the Pizza Hut Classic, get dinner, grab a bag of candy on the way in, and you can sit there and still have that family moment if that's what people are craving, sitting and watching a movie with their families. It's a family-friendly movie. It's a family environment, and in the summers they do it. I've even thought, like, if they showed the right movie, we would even go and do that because it's a great way to just get outside and not be stuck inside all night. And I'm sure there's a small town around you somewhere that does something like that.
So I was told, I remember who told to me. Somebody said that like some small towns in this area still have video stores because
Family video is what we had.
Because
family video.
internet services were not as
Maybe a mom and pop one,
or
but
they
like,
still had red boxes.
Oh, those died in like 2024 or something, 2023 or something.
It's
like
been
that.
a while since I've seen either one.
Red boxes were around. There was one at my local Walgreens when I lived in Michigan that I would see people at sometimes. Not a lot, but it was always old people too. It was never like young people. But I urge you guys, if you're looking for family, looking for ways to like get out in the community, do that. It's a very cheap. You don't even have to pay to rent a movie. It's free for the community. Go to the Dollar Tree, get candy. The kid's not going to eat the whole bag anyway. You can get the small bag. And you can sit there and watch a family-friendly movie.
Or take your asses out to the theaters when a movie
I'm
comes
saying
out
if
like
you
the
don't
old
want to
days,
pay
you know?
for it,
Like,
you can just go watch.
I actually have a cheaper option than both of them, courtesy of George Alexopoulos. He says, we need to bring back Blockbuster. I know the vibe is different, but you can go to the public library right now and borrow movies for free, and video games and books, or you could just hang out. It's been that way for years.
Yes.
Imagine someone actually knowing that they can go to the library and do that,
You can.
but then being told they need to have a library card and also pay late fees, and they're like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. But I think, you know what? I'm going to agree with this. The library is very underutilized. We have they have notaries. They have all these things that you can.
They have the Dewey Decimal System.
They do for free. No, they
What?
they have free services to so many people. And I keep saying, oh, I'm going to go one of these days. I keep saying it. I'm going to go and get a library card for the city we live in, because you just never know. Like, what happens if our computers aren't working, or we need, it's too hot, we can't run computers, and we need to go somewhere to do something. The library is 2 minutes. We can walk to the library. It's very close. Actually, I don't recommend that walk. So right now, I am seeing that they are going to be playing certain movies are going. So, is it just saying the first? Oh, the final movie for the series of movies and the concerts. How to Train Your Dragon will be the one they do, but they're also going to show The Princess Bride, Big Hero 6, Freakier Friday, Superman. They're going to be showing a couple other different ones. So, but like, they play good movies that you can go and you can sit.
Dude, I do the Thursdays, man. Like, when we get the Thursday releases, like I did Mortal Kombat. Right after we talked about it, I left the studio actually and went straight there. Bought a ticket. Was the only person in the theater. Center. Got my popcorn chilled, watched a dope-ass movie, had a great time all by myself.
You had a vibe
and I'm going to totally do that for Mandalorian this week. I'm going to go see it. I need to see with my own eyes if it sucks.
Okay, they're showing A League of Their Own for the first one.
This person said, said if Blockbuster returned, it would immediately fail. People don't want to hop in their car, be stuck in traffic, walk around a store filled with strangers, face limited options in film rentals, and then have their film checked out by a blue-haired service worker when they can stream whatever they want from their couch. Wanting Blockbuster to return is all about wishing you were a kid again, not recreating a great experience for people.
Oh, this is really
How about when your VCR used to eat the tape?
No.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And you got screwed when the guy before you messed the tape up.
This one says, you don't miss Blockbuster. You miss living a simple, non-performative life. You miss eye contact and company. You can bring Blockbuster back, but without the other stuff, you'd still turn off the movie after 20 minutes because you were looking at your phone instead.
Go to movies. These start at 6, which kind of sucks because you're usually not home until way after that. But on a Friday, we could maybe get there by 6:30. But they are showing, even on some Tuesday nights, they're showing them. I'm just seeing this. It's 5 minutes from us. Like that. To me, that just makes me happy because like people will bring their families and participate in these events, which is very wholesome, and we need to encourage that in all these small towns to keep Americana like truly alive. So I'm going to be a big proponent of this. I get it, but again, I just don't think it's going to create the same buzz that a Pizza Hut classic will. Nope. I think it's just ultimately going to fail. And also, most people don't even have DVD players or VHS.
Well, plus they're putting arcades in these Pizza Huts. I mean, hey.
Also, I want to draw
Pac-Man.
your attention. If you want to know just how irrelevant this concept is, Netflix tried to do a show. in 2022 called Blockbuster. I'm not kidding you. An American.
Oh, I heard of that.
Yep, an American workplace comedy series by Vanessa Ramos, who also served as showrunner and executive producer, based upon the Blockbuster brand. The series starred Randall Park as Timmy, the manager in a fictionalized version of the last Blockbuster store set in Granville, Michigan.
Huh. Wait, really? I lived right next to Granville.
It premiered in November 2022 to negative reviews and was canceled after one season.
Granville was, I used to tell you, there was the other Joanne's, and I would complain about how they never had anything until we always got all of them in Grand Rapids. Granville is right there. Granville has what's called the Castle. It's the ugliest building I've ever seen in my life for apartments. It looks like an old castle, but not in a good way.
Hey, we've got one of those.
Okay, yeah, but Granville is like... That's where we have like an outlet mall there and stuff. People love Granville, so that's really funny that it took place there. It's like a fictional movie, but it takes place in a real place.
Yep. Katie is also right in the chat, not to go off on a tangent. Pizza Ranch has a pizza buffet.
Yeah, but it doesn't have the same vibe as a Pizza Hut.
The
vibes aren't there.
Ranch.
I also don't want to go off on a tangent, but I have to ask you, Brett, what is all of this
we'll get there.
insanity I'm seeing about meatloaf?
We'll
What is
get there.
What is this meatloaf thing?
I mistyped meatloaf, and that's all right.
Fantastic.
In the chat.
Okay. All right. We can go back. We can go back. I just needed to know.
It would have been funnier if I accidentally misspoke during the show.
No, he mistyped, which is arguably a lot worse because I was in the middle of talking when it popped
D
up in
and
the
the F
chat.
are right by each
I gotta
other.
go with him. It's a lot easier to come back from a typo than a verbal mistake.
Not when you can't delete said typo or didn't delete said typo.
No, it's even better because then you could just joke and play off it, and everybody's oh, that's funny. But
oh my gosh, I need to find.
Good luck recovering in real life if you say, oh yeah, I brought my meat load out.
No, it's so funny.
Whoops, can't roll that back.
It's Oh man,
Spike in the chat says, Brett, you have no joy in your little black heart. No, I just think that people have turned nostalgic, like they have turned brands in America into these nostalgic like points in time that they've turned into something bigger than what they are. Now, my point is not that going to Blockbuster was bad. It wasn't. It was fun. I loved renting movies. I don't think it was as big a part of everybody's life as they now think about it as. I don't think you went every week. I mean, there's probably somebody in the chat who's like, me and my dad were movie buffs. We went every weekend.
That's different.
Most people didn't go every weekend. They went once in a while. And it was, it's like the way that AI photos have become. It's like, who remembers this? And it's like, it's a tube TV. And it's Predator on the TV. There's a Pizza Hut box. There's a Mountain Dew. There's a poster from the time period. Like, they have now centralized every idea they have about what it meant to be a kid, and they've turned it into this infallible image in their brain, when really the truth is we as human beings tend to look at everything with rose-colored glasses once that time has come and gone.
I got the one thing I got to give to Blockbuster back in the day is they did give me the opportunity to see one of the greatest movies ever made, which was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
There you go.
God, here we go again. So I will say I have to read the sentence that Brett mistyped because it's even funnier with the actual context of the sentence. Someone accused him of not liking the meatloaf, and he said the meatloaf slabs.
Fantastic.
The meatloaf slaps. I was dying. You'll have to go back later and go to about like an hour, like a little, like 45 minutes in the show, because it was during Cringe and Cute where he said that. And
perfect timing.
I couldn't breathe.
Yes.
I had tears in my eyes.
Slapping the old meat load, yeah.
Yeah, the meatloaf slaps.
Burned Oil says, hard disagree with Brett there. It's how we get our movies before you could get them online.
But you can get them online now.
But my point is, I don't think that people did it every single weekend, and I just don't think it was ever to the level that people have now turned it into.
I was poor. I never did it. I would just go cheat and watch my friends' movies.
They have built it up in their minds in a way. You did other things, I am sure, when you were a kid. Played sports, you went outside, you did things. It's the millennial version of come back home when the streetlights come on.
Ouch.
And drink out of hoses.
Yes.
Oh, that hurt. That hits home.
There was a lady at the event on Saturday that had a shirt that said Gen X, raised on what's the hose water and neglect.
She's a quirk tongue.
I never had to deal with the neglect thing, but I had plenty of hose water.
Well, their point was like, our parents just, we had it's 10 p.m. Do you know where your kids are? Yes, that was the part of a lot of our lives. Don't make it your whole personality.
Yeah, we kind of had to tell them before we could go anywhere. So, they did. They did know.
All right, let's move on and do super chats. Hold on, guys. Let me pull them up here. All right. Brett's trying to change the subject from what? Meat loads or Blockbuster? We can talk about both.
¿Por qué no los dos?
All right.
Block load.
Katie says, on Friday night, my mother and a family friend called me hateful and racist for getting angry at the stolen land ceremonies done at the football.
I'm guessing she means at the football games.
Yes.
The soccer games. I mean, yeah, it's kind of like the Black National Anthem. It just annoys people at this point. It's like a virtue signal that bothers people.
Did Billie Eilish do it?
No.
In Australia?
She should have.
She should have
shown up.
Where was the guy from who said he was going to... Wasn't that guy from Australia?
He was
the guy
from
who said
Australia.
he was going to fly
Pavlov
to...
or whatever, Pavlov or...
He said he was going to fly and, like,
he did,
live
and
on
then he
Billie
got
Eilish's
deported.
land.
Yeah, he got deported.
Yeah. Shane H. Wilder says, Happy Taco Tuesday, Dasovics. If anyone is in the Austin area and finds an alpaca named Jeremy, apparently he went missing. I saw a flyer yesterday.
Oh, well, hope Jeremy's okay, man. Go
I
Jeremy.
saw that flyer on X.
Missing alpaca.
Hope Jeremy's okay out there.
Shane H. Wilder says, John Hancock's stamp should be bigger.
Let's see if he's on here. I don't think he's on here.
Is there a D in that name?
Took the hell of a day to forget my glasses.
Is there a D in... I thought it was...
It's Hancock, Hanno. Did he put Hancock?
Yeah. And you guys are yelling at me
Shane.
for meatload.
It's Hancock. And no.
Okay.
He is not on here.
Shane H. Wilder says, remember the words of the modern philosophers Chumbawamba. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never going to keep me down.
That's right.
Pissing the night away.
That is true. Username we do not read says, are there any instances of washed up male actors going on a pity tour to shield their autobiographies, or is it still just the middle-aged actresses? It is... I don't know if it's unique to just middle-aged women, but the story is more sensational if it is a woman. Though I bet you there is a market. Maybe somebody can give an example of like male actors who were child actors who have stories like that. But I can't think of any off the top of my head. Shane H. Wilder says, I never thought I'd agree with Seth Rogan. If you can't write, then you can't write. There's nothing wrong with that. Use your own God-given talents.
Yeah.
Okay. Shane H. Wilder says Pope Leo's first, and you're going to have to correct me if I'm wrong, Shane, his first encyclical Magnifica Humanitas, Magnificent Humanity, comes out on the 25th, and it's focused on the potential dangers of AI. Okay. Carnell says, is the only way for a person to truly maintain discernment between what we see as reality versus AGI is to continuously engage with AI? And if so, aren't we just the architects of our own demise?
That's what I was saying. Yeah. Pretty much.
All right. Mike says, Bert, who was sitting with Mikey in the sewers awaiting the late Domino's moped driver? I answered this earlier.
Piece of dude's got 30 seconds.
Yep. All right. S. Bud says, how dare you laugh at his meat load?
Yeah, so sorry for giggling so hard at that. I laughed so hard. I literally had to like wipe tears out of my eyes. It was so funny.
Yeah, I knew something happened
We're
when
gonna
I
have to
jumped
make
in.
a shirt with meatloaf on it.
And say the meat load slaps.
Yes.
Jessica.
Without acknowledging that there is a typo.
Couldn't we just get like a
It'll look
picture
like one of
of
those-
Meatloaf just like shredding?
The meat load slaps.
And he's just
It's honestly like people
him a
would probably
bass.
think it's like a misspelled Chinese shirt, which is even funnier.
We'd have to
Put it
put a
in
bass
basic-
on him, yeah. We'd have to
Yeah.
put a bass guitar on Meatloaf and have him sing. It would be Meatloaf Slaps.
Oh, we could put actual Meatloaf the singer.
Yeah, on a guitar and have him have a bass and he's slapping the bass and it's just Meatloaf Slaps. You don't even have to put any
Meatloaf
words on it. If you
slaps.
know, you
Look,
know.
I'd do anything for that shirt, but I won't do that.
I will look. I would wear one of those hats with just the plain text that says "the meat load slaps." I would wear it on this show.
S. Bud says we need a meatloaf emoji. We'd
Can
have to
make
get a
one?
photo from the next time Olivia makes the meat load.
Yeah, I'll have to actually.
I have a very similar shirt that I wore to Chicago over the weekend that has George W. Bush shredding on a guitar and it just says Bush did 311. It's one of my favorite shirts.
I'm gonna try to find
you have a
something.
photo?
I don't have a photo of the meatloaf. No, but it's even worse when you're married to the guy. Now that he's talking about the meat load, it's It gets so gay so fast.
Yep. It's only gay if you make it. Greg Duvier says Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1990 movie is amazing. Olivia, you are wrong. Brett, you are correct. Top 5 best live-action comic book movies ever.
It would have been a lot better if the first time I watched it, I didn't have someone quoting it the entire time in my ear.
I mean, if the movie wasn't so quotable, I wouldn't have to quote it. But it's so quotable.
That's all I'm saying.
It's the same thing if you watch Wayne's World with me. All right. Dingus Khan of Gongolia says,
Hello.
Brett, please clip the Mr. Feeney story. I need to send it to a friend who is a huge Boy Meets World fan. Can do.
The Fiendster.
Fiend Rooney.
Yeah, I don't want to hear about Mr. Feeney's open relationship. Shane H. Wilder says, hey, Brandon, you missed Brett's meat load.
Yeah. I saw that and I was like, oh no.
That's why I was like, guys, you're going to
What
confuse
the hell is
hell out of
going on? Picked a hell of a day to be late, huh?
I'm going to try to find, does anyone have a timestamp of when that happened? I'll try to find it, but we got to clip that. It's the funniest thing. I don't think I've laughed that hard in a long time.
Mike is making the meat load emoji now, according to him.
All right.
Send it to me, Mike, on X.
Not that John Stewart says, Brandon looks like he enjoys a good meat load.
It was after the Pizza Hut.
I can't help what I look like, okay?
Yeah.
What were we talking about? The cringe? I think we were talking about the cringe when it happened.
I have no idea.
I believe we were talking about the
Did
cringe.
that overtake the cringe? Like, was the
It was
cringe
after the cringe. No, the
worse or
cringe. No, the
better?
cringe was just Poplio.
It was during the cringe.
It was like right after we watched the cringe.
Because it was leading into the topic
cute.
about Benny
Because then we watched.
Blanco.
Because I was
and-
laughing about the. Because I was trying to be like, oh, those dogs are so cute, but I like, couldn't get it out because I was laughing so
I'll
hard.
have to poll the audience on which was cringier, the cringe.
Oh wait, I
or-
found it. It was while Poplio was on screen, by the way.
Okay.
Love that.
Shane H. Wilder says, excuse me, there is an Entertain Mart in my hometown that does movie rentals. They don't rent a lot except to boomers, especially at $8.99 a pop for a 2-day rental. What was it back in the day? $5.99 a pop for a new release?
Maybe.
I bet you it was.
I can't
Towards
even
the-
remember, honestly, because I
towards
never
the
paid
end.
for them.
I wonder if my dad.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you remember it that way because you didn't pay for it. Now you got to stream it, and if you want to rent the movie, you got to rent it for $2.99 for 24 hours from Amazon, and you got to pay for it.
I wonder if my dad was watching today.
Hope so. Shane H. Wilder says, if you have a library card, you can also stream movie rentals for free through Canopy or Hoopla. I've never heard
Hoopla?
of those. Hoopla.
What a good one. All right, continue.
Robert James Films says, Brett, I used an inflation calculator, and the massive difference in price for Domino's Pizza from 1990 versus today, average $13 in 1990s would be $33 today.
Sounds about right.
Crazy.
All right. Hey, this is a 10. The tab's 13. High Voltage 75
2
says,
seconds late, dude.
oh, come on. I couldn't find the place. I mean, it wasn't a sewer. I think the guy should have gotten some grace.
Honestly, there's no such thing as like
What is
22 and an eighth.
122. See, when I was young, maybe it's because I'm part of, I always say they said 122 and an 8.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I thought is an 8. And I'm like, what the hell is the 8? But it was 122 and an eighth.
Yeah.
He's like, just slip it down here.
Continue.
And talk about the fact that Pizza Hut was the sponsor of the movie, but there's like insane product placement by just seeing the Domino's logo as it's going down the sewer.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Got to wonder about that.
Shane H. I'm sorry. High Voltage 75 says, I don't need a Blockbuster revival when I have several retro media stores in my area that I can go to for my nostalgia.
And you can
fix.
also buy them at Goodwill for like $1, so I guess you don't really need to. People are just like, it really is almost like a virtue signal to be like, bring back Blockbuster.
No, the thing is, I don't think it's a virtue signal. I think it's a cry for it's a mini cry for help. It's a mini cry.
That's why
for
I said these people need therapy, not a Blockbuster. It's psychological what's going on in your head.
It's like when they talk about like returning Pizza Hut to its former glory. It wasn't considered glory at that time. It was just the place you went to as the community.
It was just the place.
It was just the place.
Yeah, that's true.
Shane H. Wilder says, we've got hand cocks, we've got meat loads. Welcome to PCC.
Welcome to PCC, ladies and gentlemen, home of the Hancock and the meat load. I am your guest co-host today,
He
Olivia.
says I missed a 20. Yes, Shane H. Wilder had a 20 here. Did I miss this one from Not That Jon Stewart? Says, can confirm Little Caesar still does
No, we saw that one.
fundraisers.
We saw that one, but then
Okay.
I think Shane sent it right after, and so it was like
Says
yeah.
Domino's Avoid the Noid was good until Kenneth Noid thought it was about him and held people hostage at a Chambly Domino's. He offered to release people for the novel. The Widow's Son. He was institutionalized and self-deleted.
What in the hell?
Okay, that's like when
Okay.
Brett goes, "Oh, I know who that actor is. He died in a very horrific way," and tells me the story, and I'm like, "That's nice."
I could have told you one the other night when I was watching that episode of Burn Notice with the two brothers. The one was actor Michael Jace, who was in The Shield, but he was a guest star on that episode, and he went to like jail in 2016 for murdering his wife. Yeah.
Okay.
It's depressing.
Fantastic.
Shane H. Wilder says, "I think you missed my 20 about the Domino's Noid." Thank you for that.
We did get that.
I do apologize. We've got 7 minutes here to send inappropriate super chats about
Yes.
whatever it may be for today.
The
Yes.
Noid.
I might have to leave you guys and run to the bathroom really quick
Okay.
because I've been like, after laughing so hard, I'm like, I've had to go to the bathroom for the last hour. So if we have time, I'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen.
You can do that.
I'll be right back.
That's perfectly acceptable, apparently. Yeah, maybe just bring back Redbox instead. That you can rent a Redbox. Did you ever use Redbox? I don't think I ever used Redbox.
Maybe like a couple of times. Not enough for it to actually be like a thing, you know. But there, every now and then, I was like, "Oh, hey, like," and it was probably something stupid, like you got like a free rental with something, you know, like, "Oh yeah, you get one free Redbox rental," blah blah blah. So I don't remember ever really. I think maybe one time there was a movie in there that I wanted to see that I think I paid for and returned, and that was the only time I think I ever used it.
I have literally never heard of the Noid thing. That is
Yeah, that's a new
to
one
me.
for me too.
It says the Noid is an advertising character from Domino's Pizza created in the 80s by claymation artist Will Vinton, which has since been briefly revived several times. A mischievous man in a rabbit-like mask and a skin-tight bodysuit, he was portrayed as a perpetrator of many bizarre schemes
I do remember this guy.
to ruin the world's pizzas. Supposedly only Domino's managed to, as the commercial's tagline, avoid the Noid. I love how unhinged commercials used to be.
They were way better back in the day.
So it says this was the incident about him. On January 30th, January 30th, 1989, Kenneth Lamar Noid, a mentally ill man who believed the Avoid the Noid campaign was targeted at him, entered a Domino's in Georgia armed with a .357 Magnum. Noid then held 2 employees hostage for over 5 hours. After ranting to the employees about how Domino's owner Tom Monahan had stolen his name, Noid forced them to call Domino's headquarters to demand $100,000 and a white limousine as a getaway car. He offered to exchange a hostage for a copy of The Widow's Son by Robert Anton Wilson, but went back on the deal when an officer brought him the book. Noid then became hungry and forced the captive employees to make him 2 pizzas. While Noid ate the pizzas with his gun in his lap, the hostages escaped. This has to have been fictional.
This is not
like the
real.
greatest story I've ever. Why the hell are
Why
we
is it
making
just a
movies
movie?
about this
Thank
right
you.
now?
Brandon will play the noise.
Literally, give me the bunny ears and the 357 and the 2 pizzas and the white limo. I want the white. I swear to God, I want the white limo.
And we'll be the ones that have to
Would
like
they even
escape.
allow it to be in a movie because they would never allow the escaping while eating pizza part unless it was
You just
a
gotta put the word
comedy.
dramatization right up
we can
before
put,
you do it.
We
Like,
can put dramatized comedy. It's
No,
fine.
I'd say like in the real version, the cops have to save the day somehow, not the hostages
they're
making the pizza.
so funny.
are we capable of making this movie ourselves?
I feel like
Honestly?
Funny or Die or Comedy Central had to have done something.
We
with
have
this
to
back
do
in
a
the
skit
90s.
like this.
I think we might need to have a conversation with Tim.
I think yes. Tim can be like the police officer or something.
Yeah, well, Tim either says yeah,
can
do it,
be
or
like-
just says no, do it. And if he
it's
says yeah, do
Pizza
it, we're gonna
Hut-
find a way to do this.
Yeah, if it's like instead of a Pizza Hut, we'll make it like some kind of fictional Tim verse something like a. Tim
We
thing.
just say based on actual events, and then we can do whatever the hell we want, basically.
True.
I wonder what kind of pizza it was.
Bobman784 said we got Netflix because Napster VD.
Yeah.
White limousine is a getaway vehicle. I'm dead.
Like that's like
Like
the
a
worst,
limousine is the
that's
worst
the
thing.
worst
The most
possible
identifiable
thing.
vehicle I've ever seen.
Might as well have asked for a
Tim.
white Bronco during the OJ trial.
Tim, we really need to rent. It's not. We can't tell you why, but it's really important that we rent a white limousine.
Okay, so in 2017, a fan-made sequel was created for the new Jam City game called Jam Yo Noid 2 Enter the Void. In 2023, the video game Pizza Tower released, featuring a boss and later playable character named The Noise, whose appearance and behavior are based on the Noid.
Okay.
Well, okay then. All right. Shane H. Wilder says, I saw a 2-hour documentary on this story. Yeah, it's absolutely like designed for that type of thing. To be made into an absurdist documentary.
And now it's going to be designed to be made into a movie by us.
All right.
That is insane.
I want to do this.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, before we go, hit the like button on this episode and subscribe to the channel if you are new here and you have not subscribed here yet already. Please and thank you. Share the episode out with everybody that you know. Where can they find you guys?
Brandon, go ahead.
You guys can find me at Brando Boonies on Insta and on X. And feel free to tune in after IRL on Friday for a new episode of the Skateboard Podcast. Drop in, and I will maybe see you guys on Thursday if I can get in here.
Yes,
Yeah,
that would
that'd
be good.
Great. We have another super chat. I saw a 2-hour documentary
I
on the
read that
story.
one.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Sorry. I was looking it up when you read that. I was looking up Noid hostage situation when you said that. Shane, forward us that documentary immediately. We're gonna create a dramatic. Listen, I don't.
His face is killing me.
I don't
That's
take
all
notes
that
from
was.
someone who says the meat load slaps. But guys,
I take a lot of notes.
I bet you do. Bet you do, Gay Boy. Okay.
Ooh, shots fired. All right.
All right, guys. You should go to timcast.com/discord where you can sign up to become a member and join the Timcast Discord server. If you're already a member, it'll bring you right to that link. You guys should do that. Other than that, you guys should follow me at Olivia Dasovic, both on X and on Instagram. If you're into politics and you want to complain about how much you love or hate Thomas Massie, apparently my tweet has become the place where people are complaining and fighting, and it hasn't stopped, and it's been 24 hours, and I don't know what to do with myself. So if you need to complain, go ahead, go there.
Give it another couple days. It'll die out.
I'm sure after the election.
The whole Sneakergate thing from Pentagon went on for about 3 days and then ended up on the Daily Show.
Oh, that's right.
And then completely disappeared after like the 4th or 5th day.
All I said was, can someone explain to me why they hate Thomas Massie so much? And
Yeah, I saw it.
it shitstorm.
I was like, oh shit, look at this.
Shitstorm. So, and yeah, so that is it. I think that's all the stuff I have for you guys, but you should join the Discord. We got some exciting stuff coming up here. Got some meetings in the next week about some new stuff coming on that I'm super excited for. And we have a good time over there. So if you guys are over there, I will see you at 6:30 today.
All right, to get a couple of Rumble rants here, Broody Gambit says, watch along. We should do a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles watch along. That's such a good idea.
Great movie.
Another one here from Broody Gambit says, we have a family video here, and they've combined with Marco's Pizza. If you order pizza for delivery, you can have them grab a movie to rent also.
I literally said they should make a Pizza Hut hybrid with the Blockbuster.
There you go. They can do that. One more from Rudy Gambit. Oh, wait, I think I see 2 more here. Yes, he says, to be fair, when I was a kid/teen, I'd get dropped off Friday at the movie theater after school and watch what came out. I still frequented Blockbuster. And another one says, from Broody Gambit, says, each actor who wore the turtle suits got a chance to interact on screen out of the suit. I think the pizza dude was the guy who wore the Mikey suit. Yes, also the dude in the back of the limo when Raphael goes over the hood and he says, it looked like some type of a turtle in a trench coat. You're going to LaGuardia, right? Which when I was a kid, I had no idea what the hell he was saying there. But yeah, I think the guy in the back there was one of those as well. So, and I think that Kino was also one of them from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2.
Secret of the Use.
Yep. So, all right, that's all the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That is all the trivia for today, guys. Hit the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel if you're new here and you have not subscribed here yet already. Please and thank you. Share the episode out with everybody that you know. Please, it helps us out so much. If you want to follow me, Instagram and X at Brett Dasovic on both of those platforms. We are live 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is of course noon Pacific. We are on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify. If you would like to listen rather than just watch the show, you can rate and review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify, which is a great way to help us out. I don't know what I'm going to do for the show tomorrow. I do want to do something.
I'm out of commission. I apologize. I will not be there. I have things to do.
I may just do a solo 1 hour episode, talk about a couple of things. Who knows? Maybe I'll just hang out with the chat. Maybe we won't do anything at all.
What's going on tomorrow?
We just Mary's still out right now, so I'm.
And I will be in meetings all day.
Well, shit. Maybe I need to come by, and we just need to have a man's episode.
Well, if you can come by,
maybe
I would
do like a 1 hour thing with the chat.
Yep. If you want to come by, but I mean, let me know later today. If
I don't have anything planned tomorrow, so yeah, let me
okay, well then,
see if I could work it out. Maybe we'll just switch tomorrow for Thursday.
Okay, all right. Well, then maybe that's what we end up doing. Also, guys, if you want to follow the show on social media, we are on Twix at popculture_show, Facebook at Pop Culture Crisis, Instagram at Pop Culture Crisis Pod. Guys, we will be back with another episode, hopefully with Brandon tomorrow.
Hey.
We'll see you guys then.
Peace.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.